Tab Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Taylor Courtland and Digby Beacham with you on the Sports Daily. Just watching a couple of TVs here, Diggers, and they've got the replay of Moonee Valley after the last and people taking things. And would you have taken anything, you reckon?
I don't know. Theft isn't one of my strong points, TC.
Right, okay.
They were incredible scenes. I was sitting there watching it, incredulous, thinking, what on earth is going on here?
Take a pot plant for the kitchen table or something?
Oh, and that's one thing I wouldn't do, is take a pot plant. It was bizarre. Seriously, it was bizarre. It was like it was looting. That's what it was. It was looting. Yeah. Something you'd see in the streets of Johannesburg or LA.
The people taking the running rail, I wish the camera had followed them just to see how far they got.
Well, what do? You say, yeah, hey, let's get a bit of running rail. Yeah, sweet. Grab it, walk out the front door or the front gates,
and then
go, shit, we've got the Uber. It's not going to fit in this Uber. What on earth is going on?
Well, hopefully they live close. Just throw it up on the balcony.
What do you just jump on a train with 5 metres of a running rail?
No, I don't know.
Wow,
it's good to watch. Those people, they have the issue.
Staggering.
A couple of text messages coming through, and rightfully so. We should mention the Australian women golfers.
Yeah, how good?
The international crown.
Yes.
Minjee Lee, Hannah Green, Grace Kim, and Steph Kyriakou. They took down the world, and they won it. Not really a Ryder Cup, but it's an international event for teams, and they took down a few countries to get to the final and take it out.
Yeah, exactly right. Over there in Korea, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, no, well done. Well done. Two
absolutely.
WA girls there, which is great.
Yeah, Hannah Green and Minjee Lee, and I think Minjee Lee won there was some sort of MVP award that they handed out, and Minjee Lee took that home. So, well and truly a very good week in the golf. All right, we'll kick off around the nation now. We'll head to Sydney, Channel 7. Nick Markham joins us on the show. Nick, a very good morning to you.
Morning, fellas.
How are you, Nick?
Yeah, going well.
Good to hear.
Good time of year. The weather's nice. We're building towards the Ashes. It's a good time of the year.
It is a good time of the year. The Sydney Kings, though, it wasn't a good day, particularly late yesterday against Tasmania. What a mess up, to be putting it in a polite way.
Yeah, I think, there's pressure building on Brian Gorge, and there's a very good squad there. And to be beaten by South East Melbourne on Thursday night quite comfortably, a team that you'd expect them to be beating most of the time, and then to follow it up with that absolute collapse at home against the Jack Jumpers, 16-point lead given up 15-point lead given up in the final term to lose by 1. The Jack Jumpers on a 10-0 run to win the game. That was just unacceptable. It was so... Yeah, it was really poor. They went into this round at 3-3 after a really scratchy start of the year. It was a chance to get their season back on track, really, if they could have beaten the Phoenix and the Jack Jumpers. And to deliver that performance against the Phoenix and then what they did on yesterday, it was just poor. So, yeah, there's so much talent in that team, and they're just not firing at the moment. And when you look back last year, it's a very similar scenario. A lot of people talked up the quality of that team that was assembled there at the Kings, and it certainly was very, very strong, and they just never really got going at any point of the year. So, look, they're an interesting watch over the next couple of weeks, no doubt.
How do you think the start of the NBL season's going, Nick? Because from this side of the country, a couple of crowds there for the Ignite Cup. Ticketing's been a little bit of an issue for club members and all that sort of thing. Some of the games have been real shockers as well. Some teams have been blowing out. It's been a real slow start from my perspective, I thought.
No, I totally agree. And look, with the Kings not playing anywhere near their best, and the Hawks haven't been anything like the side that they were at the end of that took it out last year. So from a Sydney perspective, or from this region's perspective, it's been a real sort of slow burn, or there's certainly no real buzz at the moment. And look, we need to see the Kings start playing a bit better before that. They've got a lot of fan base, we know that, but they're always going to turn up. But they want to see a bit better going forward.
Nick, did you stay up late Saturday evening, Sunday morning your time to watch the Kangaroos go about their business against England over there?
I did, yeah. And look, they were impressive. England were very, very poor, I thought. Look, you've got to be better than that. They stuck with them for the first 40-odd minutes. But, look, I think that was, they were fortunate to be as close as they were, only 8-0 down at half-time. And the Aussies rightfully kicked clear in the second half. They were far the better team. And, look, England just have got to do the basics better, completing and playing some smart footy to be any chance of competing in team, and they just didn't do that in the first game, and they were carved up. Reece Welsh, brilliant, great. Him still carving up after that grand final performance, and look, it was look. I was hoping England would put up more of a show. There's a host of NRL, like a lot of NRL standard talent there, guys like Herbie Farnworth and co. So, yeah, look, they'll be looking to bounce back. The next test at that new Everton stadium, the Hill Dickinson Stadium, apparently it's sold out, so should be a good atmosphere. And look, England really need to show some ticker, or the series will be gone. You
mentioned Reece Walsh. Just watching him on Saturday night, it was like he'd been playing international football for years.
Oh, it was outstanding. As good a Kangaroos debut as you've ever seen from anyone, and that the conversation about that Clive Churchill medal winning performance in the grand final is as good a grand final performance, or it's right alongside any grand final performance. And to see him, he's just playing with supreme confidence at the moment. And look, we've seen him do it at all levels of rugby league, NRL, Origin, and now international. And he's just playing with so much confidence. And there's no more exciting player to watch when he is up and going, and the fans loved it when he stripped off his shorts at the end of the game, gave them to a fan, and then did a lap of honour,
in his budgies.
Photos. In his budgies. So he's a rock star in rugby league, and look, he's so valuable to the NRL right now.
Do you like the news coming out around the NRL over the weekend, with them taking a lot more games overseas in a couple of years' time, and then also New Zealand are going to host a State of Origin game?
Oh, look, it's interesting. Like, love or hate Peter V'landys, he's an ideas man. Whether they can pull off this idea of a global round, which would have multiple games on several different continents. There'd be games at Wembley, in the south of France, in Dubai, in parts of Asia. It sounds like a huge logistical challenge. And we'll see. We've seen they've been able to pull it off with Vegas. So, look, who knows? And, we'll see if it ends up happening. But, look, I don't think you can take away I think you've just got to credit the ideas that they're looking to move the game forward. I think Vegas has added so much to the start of the season and takes so much of the oxygen out of publicity for other codes of all types. Certainly in Sydney, it's a big deal. And, we'll see if this global round comes off. It'd be a huge thing. And
lost you, Nick. You there?
It was going so well.
He was going so well. So, anyway, that was Nick Markham.
That's what he thought of that idea.
Yes, exactly right.
Top that.
It's interesting what you mentioned there with Peter V'landys and probably following in the footsteps of the NFL and how they've embarked abroad. He's been able to do it successfully, hasn't he, with these couple of games that we see over there in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. So that's been a success for the NRL, sure.
Yes, it has. They've been able to get some footprints over there in the States, so that might be a really good indicator and shows what's possible. Nick, we're just talking about the fact that the NRL has gone to Vegas the last couple of years and played successfully over there, so he's got a bit of a guide. He's got a handle on what's in store.
Yeah, exactly. And fans will travel. We know that. We've seen that with Vegas. And look, I think it's a great initiative. And look, it's going to be a huge challenge to pull it off. But I like the idea of making these events, or the start of the season, an event. It's a great idea to me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, the Pacific Championship, how's it going?
Oh, look, a huge game up there at Suncorp yesterday between Tonga and Samoa. It was, 44,000 I think they got there. It was it was a sea of red and blue and Tongan red and white. It was outstanding and as brutal a footy as you will ever see anywhere. The passion that those two sides showed from the opening kickoff was just enormous. We saw Stefano Utoikamanu knocked out or concussed within 90 seconds. His game was over. Jeremiah Nane put on some huge hits, and a player for the Panthers, Sonny Luke, copped one of the biggest hits you will ever see. Junior Paolo absolutely ironed him out, and for him to get up and keep going after that was an effort in itself. So, look, it was an outstanding, intense contest. Samoa were far too good, and it looks like they'll play the Kiwis in the final next week, or they're certainly in the box seat, and that's what it's looking like. But, look, it's become an excellent standard competition, and it's really compelling footy at this end of the year.
Talking of compelling, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli were very much that on Saturday at the SCG.
Yeah, and look, there was such a big Indian contingent that got out to see those two legends in that final game. It was a dead rubber, as we know, but look, one last chance to see two of the absolute greats do their thing, and yeah, look, it was great to see them get a farewell, that they deserve, because we know that series last summer didn't pan out well for either of them here. And, look, it was good that they came back for one last, or what would likely be one last hurrah, and were able to do that on the SCG. And, yeah, look, it was nice, even though the Aussies were beaten.
You're into your motorsport, aren't you, Nick?
I don't mind it, yeah.
Oscar Piastri, we've lost the lead.
I know, mate. Yeah, look, he's been in a funk for some time now, and you could tell just by listening to him that he'd lost all confidence the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, look, he went into this Mexico race, 3 races without even a podium finish, while Max Verstappen was just carving up. Lando Norris was eating into his lead. And, look, what loomed as a great Australian motorsport story mid-season has just, it's really fallen off a cliff for Oscar, unfortunately. And he's sort of back into this season's mirroring basically what happened last year, which is really, really disappointing. And look, let's hope he can fight back. There is still time, but he's going to have to reverse what's been a really disappointing trend over the last 4 races.
Nick, great to chat to you this Monday morning. We'll do it all again in 7 days' time, mate. Have a great week.
Thanks, fellas. You too. See you later.
There's Nick Markham from Channel 7 there in Sydney. There's a little bit of worrying reports coming out of Moonee Valley there, Diggers too, one of the Perth Racing's big sponsors. They've been taking home pots of flour and things.
Have they?
Yeah. Wayne Tardrew from Drummond Golf.
Chuck him under the bus. Why don't you, TC?
Oh, he was very active on social media on Saturday. So very happy to be there, as I can imagine you would be.
So you're telling me a Collingwood supporter was stealing stuff on Saturday? Yes or no?
I'm saying at
Is
Moonee
Wayne
Valley,
a Collingwood supporter?
After the last, Wayne had a pot plant in his hand. That's all I'm saying. That's all I know.
And he's a Collingwood supporter. And he didn't go there with a pot plant, did he? He didn't rock up to Moonee Valley on Cox Plate Day with a pot plant, but he left with one.
I don't know for sure.
He's a thief.
I don't know for sure, but I'd say he probably didn't rock up with a pot plant.
Ah, well, good old Collingwood forever, eh?
We're not going to win much over the next couple of years. So
what are you going to win? Better Homes and Gardens, are you? Fair
Is that still going?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
That's had a good run.
Well, so is Wayne in public life until now.
Home and away?
Yeah.
Oh, dear mate. All right, Richard Haynes to talk a little bit of sense and talk a little bit of Randwick. Rich, good morning to you.
Good morning, gents. Good morning, listeners. Don't know about a bit of sense. Can say some silly things at any time. But, yeah, no, Randwick's getting a good workout at the moment. Back there this weekend coming for the Golden Eagle. But, again, good program of racing on a good surface. I didn't get to the races this weekend, gents. I did give this weekend a miss, but I'm led to believe, again, they got a really good crowd on course. So maybe some of those youngsters and people thought we had a great day on Everest Day will back up, which is good. We need all these people of that younger demographic to get to the races, and hopefully they found a winner or two on the day.
Now, Richard, as an owner of a racehorse, you always want to be able to maximise your earning potential. That's what you want your trainer to do for you. Chris Waller is doing that perfectly with Lindemann.
Yeah, I mean, what a preparation he's having. I mean, he's always been a very, very good racehorse. But, Chris and the team picking their way through the right kind of race with this horse. And when a $750,000 Craven plate bobs up on the calendar and Sir Dilius is going for a break, even though he's in the noms, you think, well, let's just go again. And look, he was just too good. He's a big, strong horse. He's at the top of his game. yes, he was a $1.35 favourite, and he belted them as he should. So, Whoppet bloodstock, Debbie Capitas, one of the part owners of Winks, and, from the Ingham family, they just love this horse, and he's just been really well placed all along, banking a heap of money along the way. He beat Militarised, who I think's also been having a good preparation, but the stable, Kovalika, finished off reasonably well. But I think what you see is what you get. Lindemann, well placed. They thought, we're not going to take on the absolute A-graders, but they're taking on good horses, and he's winning. He's winning well. Another 430 grand jumps in. So why not? He's just going great guns. Nash knows him so well, and good winner of the Craven Plate on the weekend.
Did you have anything on Shangri-La Boy, and did you think it was home?
No, I didn't. And if you back the horse, you could be probably forgiven for thinking that you were home. I mean, the map looked like he'd be up on speed and might be able to lead. And he was certainly up on speed. I sort of swung back to Attica late in the piece, and then about the 300 metres, I thought, how's he really going? But goodness me, Joe Pride, he's been given some of these Godolphin horses like some of the other trainers have, of course. He's a really nice horse, this fellow. Shangri-La Boy, a tough Tulloch Lodge 3-year-old. They're hard to get past any time in these races, but Attica was tremendous. Great for Adam Hieronymus, who's riding in a rich vein of form at the moment. Don't think he's, like I suspect with this horse, like a mile's going to be beautiful for him. You can see him as a Golden Eagle prospect this time next year as he furnishes. His mother, Savatiano, was very, very sharp, we'll all remember. But look, I think first and second, obviously two of our best staying 3-year-olds in Sydney. Thought the Pearls was good in defeat. Picks up a little bit of black type for her, but Shangri-La Boy looked home at about the 100. But this Attica, he ground him down. He's been going really well. He was a good winner the other day, and he's a spring champion winner. So we'll see how the form stacks up. I think first and second are clearly pretty good horses.
And it was a good day for Godolphin-owned horses there at Randwick on the weekend, wasn't it, Rich?
Yeah, this Hope is a really nice horse for Michael Freeman. He's an I'm Invincible horse. I mean, if you back Rivellino, you probably don't want to watch the replay again so many times. He just got stuck in behind sort of a weakening Ruination. But take nothing away from the winner, Hope. He's a horse going really the right way. Michael Freeman will take him through nicely. There might be an option in Melbourne for him. Rivellino thought was a bit stiff in defeat. He sort of brought that good 2-year-old form with him, and he just came up short. I've always been a fan of Fermoy. He's just finding these kinds of races hard to win, but he was solid in third. But I think that Ahope, again, for the breeding nerds out there, that Poho Takala, she was a very good mare a few seasons back, the dam of Ahope. He's now won 3 from 8, and as we know in this day and age, he's only about 75 grand off being $1 million earner, which is regular in this game if you've got one good enough at the moment. But I think first and second, obviously 2 nice 3-year-olds. Rivellino a bit stiff, but it was a Hope's day on the weekend. 580 grand jumping in for the Calendar Presnell over a mile.
The invitation, a little bit of money jumped into the bank account of the connections for Steffi Magnetica, who I dare say we'll see her at Flemington, Rich, you'd think?
Yeah, I think she goes to the mile race on the final day, the Champions Day. She knows no introduction. She's a tremendous mare when she's right. She must have been working well during the week and back where they wanted her, because they didn't forget to back her on the weekend. I mean, 59.5 kilos. She was, she is the class of the race. She's one of our famous miles. But some of these mares in good form. Gangster Granny has been racing really well at the moment. Gerringong in good form. Manal just anchored a touch by the weight. But I think all honours with the winner, Steffi Magnetica. She's a really top mare. And, there's probably, also there's nothing of her, but she's hardly the biggest and strongest mare in the yard when you look at her. She walks around the yard sometimes and you think, she's okay. She's no absolute stunner, but she's got a big motor in there. And to carry the weight, Jason Collett gave her a very patient ride. She was too good. Gerringong, really good in defeat. I know Lee and Cherie Curtis, one of probably more of a boutique stable in they're now Bahinia to run 5th. They were delighted with her run as well. Getting the better of Miss Rumbini and Firestorm and those horses. So her time will come, but. She was given the 59.5 for a reason, Steffi. She's very good on her day, and she goes to Melbourne in really good form.
Rich, I dare say you were thrilled to see Napoleonic win the Red Anchor on Saturday in the manner that he did for J-Mac and John and Tom, and we should see him in a Coolmore and potentially a big day for the stable with linebacker running around in a Golden Eagle.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, John and Tom, they've just got this really nice group of horses in there at the moment, and Napoleonic's just come through the grades beautifully. I thought he'd be right in the mix on the weekend. Didn't think he'd win like that. That Red Anchor, he won by the best part of 4 and a bit lengths. So he's got that good pedigree, Wooden Bassett colt, and he'll back up this weekend and be right amongst the action. He's won 3 from 6, and linebacker. Again, a sense of timing with him. He just has to sort of hold his form and try and improve that bit. But I mean, that Golden Eagle is just going to be an unbelievable race on the weekend, as we know it will be. So, so much to look forward to here in Sydney as the carnival rolls on. Thought we saw a bit of an upset win in the Kirkham Stakes, the first race of the day. Terry Croft's been training horses for a long time, but he's got a pretty good one in his hands here in Thrill Hunter. And if you found him at the $61, or her, I should say, she's a filly, good luck to you. So, a nice prize money check jumps in there for Thrill Hunter, an upset winner of our 2-year-old race on the day.
Lovely. We'll need plenty of time next week to chat, Rich, because it's a big day in Sydney, as you touched on. We look forward to doing it then.
I'll be down in Melbourne for Derby Day, so I'll keep a close eye on Sydney. I've got the start down south, fellas.
You Mexicans.
I feel like I'll have to bump into our racing blogger, mate, and catch up with him and say I'm going to try and keep going with you.
Dear. Match his energy, you'll be going well.
Yeah, I know. Just get through Derby Day and just try and back up for the rest of the week as best we can, I think.
Have a good week. Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, guys.
There's Richard Haynes from Sydney. Out of the roads, back with Shayne Williams.
Maytag Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Oh, welcome back to the Sports Daily. Tyler, Courtland and Digby Beacham with you. Important question I've got for you, Diggs.
No, don't.
We're bringing off-air conversations on it.
You shouldn't do that.
No, you shouldn't, but, we've only got a couple of weeks left. So I will.
Yep.
If you get a parking fine and you get the little, the notice or whatever, and then you throw the notice away, does that mean the parking fine goes away with it?
Don't know. We'll find out. I'll tell you in a month's time. I got a parking fine yesterday in Fremantle.
I actually, now that you say that, I've got one that I haven't paid as well.
Good. Hope you go to court. Well, I got mine, and I just grabbed it off the dash or on the windscreen, and I just disposed of it. So it's somewhere around. Not sure. I'm not paying it. Is that illegal? Well, it is illegal, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hate parking fines. I don't know. I'm about to find out. I was in a mood yesterday and I got that. And I didn't really improve
that mood
my...
was brought on by sort of parking situations around the place?
Just everything. Just everything yesterday. I was just a grump. So I got that parking fine. I thought, well, you can stick that where the sun doesn't shine.
I'm shocked because down in Fremantle the parking's really good.
Oh, Fremantle markets yesterday. Fair income.
On a Sunday. What did you expect?
Well, I don't know. I don't go to Fremantle all that often. And after yesterday, there's a good reason why.
Don't run into that parking inspector again.
Well, I don't know if it was a he or a she or it was a robot. Either way, I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
It's probably a camera takes a photo and then prints it out.
Good.
Sticks it on.
Stuff them.
Oh, speaking of man, that would get a lot of parking fines.
On the Sports Daily, the Shayne train's coming into the station. Here's Shayne Williams with his winners for tonight's WA Greyhound Racing.
Good morning, Shayne Train.
Yeah, good morning, boys. How are we for a Monday?
Oh, not bad. Shayne, how are you?
I'll fired him up.
Yeah, no, really well, fighting fit and ready to do battle for the week.
Do you pay your parking fines, Shayne?
Don't think I've ever had one, to be honest.
Okay, well, you're a goody two-shoes.
Yeah, I can't think of if I've had one. I've misplaced it.
You misplaced it. Well, I've misplaced mine. I know exactly where mine is, but let's continue this conversation. It is misplaced. Oh, dear. How was the weekend?
Yeah, not a bad weekend. Diggs. And I found 2 Hardie at Ascot. So
well done. Gee whiz. Yeah. And did you think you'd got there, or did you think the wizard had got you?
I thought I'd got there, but I wasn't happy when he missed the kick. He or she missed the kick. I was towards out of the clock then, but
Yep.
it was like, come on, Willie, let a battler win a race, and he just missed, unfortunately, Willie. But yeah,
That's a good find. It's a good find. The horse was good to start, Prior, wasn't he? TC He missed the kick that day, and he was good to the line. But
the trial before the preparation was outstanding as well.
Yeah, just a low draw helped him there. You know, if he misses the kick from that gate,
yeah,
you know, you're a chance. But if you draw wide and you miss the kick like that, you're in trouble. So, no, well done to Brandon Louis and Justine and Shayne Williams for finding it.
Just the rich get richer.
Yep, money goes to money, Shayne.
All right. How do we reinvest
something
it today?
for a battler? Yeah, well, it's the last meeting up at Northam today, boys, for the season. I've just got to say, they've done an outstanding job up there, the track staff, throughout the year, so hats off to them. I think Mondays will be moving to Mandurah now from next week onwards. So, yeah, we'll be racing Mondays at Mandurah from next week onwards. But I'm going to kick things off. Race 6, number 1, Star Zitto. Recent form says no, and it's probably hard to argue with that. She's been mixing tracks and distances of late, but she can run when things go her way. From box 1 today, I'm thinking that just may be the case. She meets a very moderate lineup she faces here, and I think can run us a good race today. Race 6, number 1, Star Zitto.
Your second?
Yeah, 7-4 Colour of Red. This one's an each-way play for the Baker, Darren Rowe. I thought he's been pretty good since having the 3-run stint up at Northam. And prior to that was a good winner at Mandurah in good time, 22.51. So gets a good map here with 5, wanting to shift up the track, and I thought could run well at each way odds. Race 7, number 4.
All right, and the third one?
Yeah, 9-5, paid in full. This one's come up pretty short, boys. I've got to be honest. I thought it'd be around about the 160 mark, but I think I've seen 138 or whatever on Tab Tut. So I think quite simply he should be way too good for these. His runner-up last week in good time. Looks a class above to bring up win number 8 of his career. And like I said, I don't think he'll find an easier race to win and get the job done for us. 9-5, paid in full.
Okay, who's the best?
I was paid in full, Diggs, but he is very short, so I'm hoping he drifts. But, yeah, there's a bit of value about the other runners. But, yeah, I think if you want to take Maldies, just put paid in full in most of them, and you should be collecting there.
All right, Star Zito, you said, was the first one?
Yeah.
Race 5.
Is it race 5, is it?
Race
yeah,
5.
Race 5, number 1.
$3. I had my glasses on. I must have had my glasses on.
That's right.
Last
We've all
night.
been there. That's right.
Yeah.
5-1, 7-4, 9-5.
Okay. When he's getting Maureen Haggis on today's program.
Oh, yeah. You're very keen on that, aren't you?
You fired up.
Oh, she was out of line, Diggs, to be honest. Just like someone I know throwing the toys out of the car.
Yeah, no, I know where Maureen's coming from. Anyway, it happens. But Zach's had his right of reply, and I think Maureen then put a hand up. She said, look, I probably went over the top.
Is Lake Forest running at Flemington? Is Zach staying on?
I can assure you
No,
Ben is not. Wherever it goes, he won't be riding it.
Tom Marquand's been flown into boys, so there's been a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. The English have the better jockeys, I've been told.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a spell.
Who's biggest favourite?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, Frankie.
Zach Purton, James McDonald, or old Frankie. I'll go 10 deep around the corner to Tory. Give me a spell. Maureen, get off the whiskey. God.
Jeez, we might take down everyone by the end of this show.
Yeah,
Shayne.
well, as TC said, we're winding up soon.
Hilarious.
All right, Shayne. Talk tomorrow.
All right, boys. All the best. Have a good day.
There we go. There's Shayne Williams repeating race 5, number 1, race 7, number 4, and race 9, number 5 at Northam. Race number 1 getting underway at 1:27, wrapping up the season up there at Northam. Continuing on around the nation, we're heading to Adelaide, Channel 9. Tommy Rehn joins us. Tommy, good morning to you.
Morning, boys. Hope you had a great weekend.
Likewise, Tommy. Great to have a chat to you. I'd need to get your opinion here on the Adelaide 36s. Were they a bit stiff yesterday, or Melbourne United too good?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both. I mean, they probably need to get better at closing out in those big games, don't they? Figures. What did they lead by 4 with, roughly a minute or so to play? Should have won, really. And perhaps I think they still need a bit of help around Bryce Cotton. Look, I think it confirms, Diggers, they're a title contender, aren't they? There's no doubt about that. But banking those wins, as you guys know, the Wildcats have done it so many times over the years. Banking them early is so important. Had they been 6-1, they're really locked away in that top two. Not to be, but I think they're still pretty bullish about their chances and just need to tidy a few things up, I think, moving forward, particularly in the big moments.
Yeah, they should be pretty bullish because the other title contenders, it's Melbourne, Adelaide, and then it seems to be daylight, Tommy.
Yeah, look, at South East Melbourne, I think have got an identical record to the Sixers, 5-2, but the Sixers took care of them last time. They've got Illawarra at home this Sunday. I expect they'll win that one pretty comfortably. The other thing too, Taylor, is I don't think they're rushing into it, but I think they're waiting to see what they really need in terms of a needs basis. I do still think they'll get another import, before we're done. Probably, I think it'll happen, reasonably soon. I don't think they're in a rush, but I think they need that. I think if they are going to be right there with Melbourne United, and if they're going to go down this path of spending and going pretty hard, then I think they might as well go all out and really have a crack at trying to win a first championship in 20 years.
Tommy, can I ask you a question? You love your cricket and you follow Travis Head particularly closely. Is he best served for the upcoming Test series playing in this T20 series or going back to Sheffield Shield and getting some time at the crease and exposing himself to the red ball?
I think I'd prefer to see him play Shield.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he is playing a Sheffield Shield match before the Ashes, which I think is good. I think he desperately needs it. I think some time in the middle. He needs hopefully a good 2, 3, 4 hour knock somewhere out in the middle. He's been a bit light for runs. I do think he'll sort of hopefully be peaking by the time the summer comes around, and they need him to, Diggers. I mean, that top order, as we know, is going to be reasonably inexperienced, and I think suspect, depending on whoever they go for, Renshaw, Weatherald, Marnus at the top of the order, whatever the case may be, it's going to be a different look for the Aussies. He's probably, along with Steve Smith, one of the only two that are absolutely locked in, maybe Usman as well because of everything else that's happening around. So he needs it, but yeah, I think he needs some Shield time and some Shield runs, and hopefully that'll stand him in good stead.
You're a little bit iffy about his form though, Tommy?
Yeah, I'd like to see him a little bit more. Been better the last couple of games, I think, Taylor. The couple of 20s, at least a couple of starts, and very different, format to what we've seen. I'd just like to see him bat a little bit of time. And look, that's not he's more of a shot maker. So, I'd just like him to bat a couple of hours, hopefully, somewhere, and get a bit more time out there. Not too concerned, but I'd like to see him make a few runs in the lead-up. That'd be ideal.
All right, so Paddy Cummings has been ruled out of the first test officially, so yet to return from a back stress injury. Steve Smith is going to captain Australia. What does the first test lineup look like? Put your George Bailey hat on, please, Mr. Rehn.
I'm a big fan of Matt Renshaw. I think he's actually improved his technique out of sight since when did he last play for Australia? 8-9 years ago? I think he's come miles since then. I'd be playing Matt Renshaw in the first test, to be honest. I think he deserves a crack. I don't mind the idea, though. I mean, he played at SA. He gets on with the game quickly. Jake Weatherall, a stroke maker. I mean, if I was being really brutal, they're not going to do this. I wouldn't play Khawaja either. I think he's struggling. But I think they have to.
Yeah.
I think it's probably... I'd go Renshaw, Khawaja at the top of the order, Marnus at 3, Trav at 4, then I'd have... Steve Smith at 4, Trav at 5, and then I would have Cam Green at number 6.
So no Webster? No Webster?
It's tough, isn't it? Goodness gracious. No, I think I'd leave him out.
Yeah, okay.
I think I'd go Cam Green. As long as Cam Green can bowl, I'd be playing Cam Green at number 6 at this stage, and I'd be playing a recognised batsman at the top of the order.
All right, we had Shorty on last week, Diggers, when you had the day off. He had Weatherald playing. Weatherald, Khawaja, Marnus, Smith, Head, Green.
What's wrong with... I'm not having a go here, Tommy, but what's the knock on Webster? Is he just
form at the moment?
Well, he's been injured.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, and his form before he did get injured, though, he was one of our best players, wasn't he, in the Test side? So I'm being brutal. Look, this is the issue. You've got cases for, opening Marnus, batting Green at 3 and Webster at 6. You've got plenty of bowling options then. But is your batting a bit light? I think that's the issue. So Look, this is where the selectors, they've generally made good calls over the years. I mean, we all like to be a selector. They're going to have to get it right this time because I think we're vulnerable. If Wood, now big ifs, but if Wood and, the other pace bowlers are all there, there's a real case for England to blast Australia out of the park, particularly with no Cummins. So huge calls coming up in the next week or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly right. Question marks around their fitness as well. Thanks, Tommy.
Good on you, boys. Love your work.
All right, there's Tommy Rehn. We'll stick with Channel 9 very, very shortly.
How are you going, T?
Got a frog in the throat, so I'll go to some ads. TJ, not too far away.
Maytag Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Harley Courtland and Digby Beacham with you on the Sports Daily. I think the frog's gone in the throat. The coffee this morning got me, diggers, unfortunately. Someone's backing you up on the text line, though. Joe, he's piped up on the text line and said, seriously, parking should be free on Sundays.
Yeah, I agree. Well done, Joe. At least there's some sensible people out there, unlike parking inspectors in Fremantle.
Yeah, on a Sunday.
No, we're fair dinkum. Although someone has alerted me on my phone, just follow the rules and you'll be fine, which is probably fair.
Yeah, but a bit early.
Gee whiz, it was busy, the Fremantle markets. I haven't been to the Fremantle markets for 2 decades. And
sounds like it might be 3 now.
Oh, no, it's got life. It's got life. Never again. Never again.
Tony Jones, Channel 9 in Melbourne. TJ, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, don't get me started about parking fines. I remember years ago the sheriff arrived at Channel 9's offices. Management rang and they said, there's some people here that want to actually arrest you. And I said, that narrows the field. What have I done? Anyway, so it was a parking fine. So, yeah, not great. But anyway, there you go. Hey,
how many did you run up?
Oh, I think so. I'm going back to, geez, it must be 25 years ago, and it was just over $1,000 in fines back then.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh, it's one of those things. And look, I'm hopeless with that. I sort of think, look, if you just leave it long enough, it'll go away.
No,
but it doesn't. So anyway, we're here to tell the tale, and I didn't get arrested as it turned out, but
not on
I'm
that
a little
occasion.
bit more cautious these days. Yeah. I'll tell you what, there was some heavy traffic at Moonee Valley on Saturday.
What are you Melburnians doing?
Oh my God! I had to check that I was watching something from Moonee Valley, as opposed to sort of deep in the south of the US or something.
Yes.
It was extraordinary. What has happened to people? But it was basically, to set the scene, if you haven't spoken about it already, this was where the Cox Plate was won and run, of course, in sensational fashion, and then at the end of the day, the curtain came down on Moonee Valley as we know it because it's undergoing a massive facelift. So the Cox Plate will be run at Flemington next year. Good luck trying to get it back, Moonee Valley, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But what they said was, souvenir some stuff.
Oh.
So the Cox Plate crowd tends to attract the younger demographic, shall we say, that don't mind a beer. And they just absolutely took anything that wasn't nailed down, even stuff that was nailed down. The rails, they took the rails, and there was one stretch of rail that it must have been 25, 30 metres long. Now, how the hell they were going to get that home on a tram or whatever is beyond me. So it was extraordinary scenes.
Oh, it was. There was someone doing the running rail. They were pouring beer and then drinking it out the other end as well. I saw a photo of that, TJ. It was all happening.
Oh,
yeah,
madness.
flower pots with flowers still in it. They were gone. Pieces of the finish post were being ripped off. It was. I don't know if you remember when the lights went out at VFL Park, Waverley.
Yes.
And there's that iconic picture of the I'm not going to say whose, but the fans with one of the point posts on their shoulders, sort of like scampering across the ground. It was very reminiscent of that, times about 100, really. It was just on for young and old.
Now, talking of on for young and old, and if you don't know the result, apologies in advance. The F1, Oscar Piastri. Lando Norris, this drivers' championship battle is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, 4 races to go. There's still more than 100 points up for grabs, but only 1 point separates the top 2. And unfortunately, our man, Oscar Piastri, isn't the number one on that particular table at the moment because he had his colours lowered big time. He put in a pretty good drive to finish 5th, but when you qualify 8th, you're not doing yourself any favours, are you? So, look, Lando Norris, it was just a runaway win by him, and unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because we're completely parochial and biased, Oscar no longer has the lead in the Drivers' Championship. But as I said, it's still only 1 point behind. The real worry is what the hell has happened to his car. Now, there's some pretty strong conspiracy theories kicking around at the moment, but even he says it's a mystery as to how it's just dropped off in pace. And there's no doubt it has. So how that's happened, well, I'll leave that up to you to sort of speculate. But as I said, there's plenty of conspiracy theories flying around at the moment on social media and the like. So, look, maybe he's also lost a little bit of confidence. It's hard to know how you can lose confidence in such a short space of time because he was just so dominant. And now he's just driving like a so-so driver. Now, is that a little bit of Piastri above the shoulders? Is that a little bit of, what's in the engine? What is happening there? I don't know. But it's very, very disappointing. Not over yet, as I said. Still 4 races to go. But, yeah, it's not looking good.
Would you be surprised if he got the lead back?
No, I wouldn't because you've got to treat each race, as if it's, your first one. So, no, I wouldn't be surprised. But the way his car's travelling at the moment and the way he's travelling at the moment, you'd have to think to yourself it's going to be really difficult for him. And I don't know, everything seems to go right for Lando Norris, doesn't it? And, I'm not entirely sure the F1 team was overly unhappy with that result.
No, exactly right. I think we know which way the team would like the championship to go. TJ?
Well, that's the scuttlebutt, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
do we honestly think there would be self-sabotage? Do we, in our heart of hearts, believe that?
No, I'm not going to. I mean, that's a pretty strong word to use when you're talking about sort of what goes on within the team. But certainly that's the centrepiece of these conspiracy theories which are floating around the place, albeit in social media, which we shouldn't take a whole lot of notice of. But Oscar sort of set the narrative in a way when he said it's a mystery. So how does it just happen? It's very, very disappointing. But as I said, he put in a really good drive today. To give himself every opportunity to finish in the points, which he did. But unfortunately for him, and for Australia, I guess, Lando Norris was the one who took the honours.
How about the coverage from Flemington on Saturday? Are you involved again?
Yes. Yeah. So in the mounting yard, which is always fun. Yep. So, pre-race, post-race interviews and all that sort of thing. And, it's just going to be a great day, Derby Day. I mean, you could argue... Well, I don't think it is an argument, is it? It's the greatest day's racing in Australia.
It's a ripper. Are you wearing a top hat?
No, I'm not wearing it. I draw the line at the top hat because if I want to look like the fat controller, I'll go to a fancy dress party. But certainly got the tails on.
What is the weather? What's the forecast? Have you looked that far forward?
Oh,
terrible day by Melbourne standards. Sunny and 25.
Oh, just wait. It'll change. Hey, TJ, great to chat. Great to chat. We'll enjoy looking at you on the TV from this side of the country, and we'll enjoy chatting to you next week.
All right, and if I do happen to ask any stupid questions, I don't need you guys to remind me this time next week.
I'll give you I'll send you a text. See you, mate.
Okay, do so. Righto, bye.
There's TJ, Channel 9 in Melbourne, of course. That's where the free-to-air broadcast, I think... So Sky loses the coverage of Melbourne races on a Saturday, so you need to watch them over there on Channel 9. Racing.com, the listeners might be able to help us. I'm not too sure what happens there. I think you might still be able to watch it there, but we'll try and find that out throughout the week. But, of course, Channel 9, it's all happening there all 4 days of the Flemington Carnival.
It's a great time of the year. It really is. I know we say that a fair bit, but this is a wonderful week of racing. And notwithstanding, there's going to be a massive race up there in Sydney, the $10 million Golden Eagle. J-Mac's going to be the headline act along with Autumn Glow, but a lot of eyeballs are going to be on Flemington naturally.
Yeah, it was a little bit up in the air, the coverage, obviously, when a couple of years Channel 10 were able to do it, but last year when Channel 9 took over, it was pretty seamless and it was very professional.
Oh, they're experienced enough, and to be fair, Channel 9 are looking after some pretty big sporting events at the moment, and they're doing a really good job of it.
Yeah, yep. Billy Slater, of course, involved on horseback. Yep. Eddie Maguire, they're hosting. James Bracey, he's
an outstanding broadcaster. Yep. He's really good. Yep.
And then TJ there, he knows all those sort of people in and around Melbourne, and the racing fraternity as well. All right, 0427 789 571, the Retrovision text line. That's the number. We are taking on Matt Young today there at Pinjarra, getting your best bets. His preview coming up at 8:45. After 7 o'clock, we'll catch up with Dan Morton and also Matt Welsh to dissect the Cox Plate. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about it. Then we'll also recap Ascot, maybe text in your horses to follow, once the Black Book and maybe once for the futures. I see King of Light now for the WA Kiddies, a nice short price favourite. All to come up on the Sports Daily.
Maytag Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Tyler Courtland and Digby Beacham with you on this Monday morning. A couple of text messages to get through just before we do get to Matt Walsh to recap some of the racing there from Moonee Valley. Bluey is text in. At Ascot, 8,000, great Irish crowd, great atmosphere, but Perth Racing let the crowd down with limited bar staff and very long drinking queues all day.
Well, you were there. Did you have any issues in that front, or?
There were long queues, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, that's to be expected, unfortunately.
There's 8,000 people at the races. I don't know what else they could do. It's only a limited number of bars at the place.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't venture up to sort of like the top of the straight very far, so I don't know if there was anything going up at that end.
Right, okay.
Some of our listeners might be able to let us know there. Rusty Gates, he said Oscar Piastri, maybe they're putting unleaded 91 in his car and Norris are using premium unleaded.
They couldn't be sabotaging his car, could they?
I don't think they'd be sabotaging.
So where's it? So what's the issue? Why has he lost a length or two, to use a racing parlance?
Wow. No, I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, I don't follow it closely enough.
But you wouldn't think so, would you?
Well, is he just having a bit of a run himself?
Maybe there's things they can do because clearly all season they've wanted Lando to be the big dog, haven't they?
Well, naturally, he's the headline act, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that's been
more
part
effort
of the
into
course.
his car than the other car, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Oh well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Brendan. Watching the verdict on racing.com yesterday, I noticed Shayne Williams is not the only person who has File Up as his favourite movie.
Okay, fair enough. Oh dear.
File Up. No. Jason from Swanview, excuse me. Webster gives to the bowling lineup a lot of flexibility, given that he can bowl both seam up and spin. He's done nothing wrong in the tests he's played, so there's no reason not to play him. If Green can't take the big bowling load, then Webster has to play ahead of him.
Oh, it's a big call, Jace. I think they will go with Green ahead of Webster, and Green, if only as a batsman. But I'm just thinking Bo Webster is a very unique cricketer who's personally worth persevering with. Like he's played 7 tests. He's averaging in excess of 35 and a half. He scored 450s in 12 innings. So he's going okay. He's taken 8 wickets in those 7 tests, average of 23. He hasn't bowled a lot, admittedly. I think he's a very unique cricketer. He's a good slipper. Like he fields really well. He's a good striker of the ball. He gets on with his batting, and he can bowl. He's just a very accomplished all-round cricketer. And I'd hate to see him get a squeeze. I think he deserves his place in that Australian side, provided he can remain fully fit.
All right, Slammer's text in as well. 2 of the best jockeys going around battling out the Cox Plate on the weekend. Was great to watch. Happy J-Mac has jumped on Maydan for the Cup after I jumped on it 18-1.
Okay, yes.
Obviously saw a fair bit of Caulfield. Maydan?
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, what did you draw, 5 in that? Was it 4 or 5? 5?
Yeah, 3
deep. 3 deep, the trip. How's that work? But, look, not ideal, but...
here we go.
You wouldn't be dropping off him. Uh-oh, what are you doing? Here we go.
Here we go. I'm trying to find a name to the text message to check the credibility, but we're not too sure, but we'll go with it. Parking fines issued by local government, e.g. City of Fremantle, must be paid, legally enforceable under Local Government Act.
Okay.
Parking fines issued privately, e.g. Wilson, you can throw in the bin.
Can you?
Hey!
Well,
do you know, was it Wilson?
Yeah, I believe so. I've done a bit of research since I started my blow-up on air, but yes, it was Wilson. But I've been told that they clamp you next time you go in one of their parks, and they identify you.
The alarm goes off when they see
Must be. We see my car.
What if you went and changed your number plates?
That would work. I need to get hold of a bank robber and see if I can have his see if I can get his number plates. And
How do you do that?
go.
Just Google bank robber?
Yeah, I think Google bank robber, how to contact
White pages?
them. Yeah, Siri. Do you know any bank robbers that I can borrow their number plates?
Siri's gone off on my phone there.
Oh, has she? Good on her.
Settle down.
Okay.
Yeah, right, there you go.
There you go, Wilson. Yeah,
Wilson.
well,
parking fines and tennis rackets. They do it all, don't they?
Yes. Yeah, well, they can stick their parking fines.
Benny from Bunbury.
Yes.
Did Diggers pick up a parking ticket on his Tesla?
Chop it out, Benny.
King of Light, one to follow. Could be anything. Opportunistic, sacked for life. Couldn't win the York Cup if he started now. I don't think that's right. But
Bob did mention that. I think Lockie asked him what did he make of opportunistic. He said he was a bit bland. He said, where next? He said the York Cup. That's what Bob said. Look, he's gone unders. He probably is looking for ground. I wouldn't be dropping off him, but by no means, what we say is hard and fast here. But I think the pair of us watching that trial, it was when he trialled leading up to that first up run, it was a nice trial. I thought it was okay. It wasn't a trial where you go, whoa, okay, here we go. Looking at a really, really dominant trial display. Looking forward to seeing this horse back at the race. It was a nice trial, and he wasn't here to break any records, granted. But first up run sound, good, no knock. There on the weekend, stayed at the 1400, and he's probably gone, or not probably, he's gone unders, but Michael Grantham knows what he's doing, and he's had a good day there again on the weekend, Mickey. So he'll work it out, and I'd expect that next time you see opportunistic, he'll be over further than the 7 furlongs.
Exactly right. Liam Peters said as much when I think the whole way through we've spoken about this horse. He's always expected the horse to get up over further. And later on in his career, when he's doing his best racing, he's going to be doing it at Perth Cup sort of distances.
Would you throw him in the deep end and run him in a Lucky Grey on the 8th of November if you're trying to get him to a northerly?
You'd have a look at the field. You'd throw in a nomination, wouldn't you?
Well, it depends on which other ones of the Cerise and White are heading there. Like
you'd think First Encounter would be there.
First Encounter, Diamond Scene. Yeah. Would he go that way?
I think Diamond Scene, they'd go to a railway, would they?
Go to a railway? Yeah. Well, you'd think so, but that's... What's that, November 8? You go 18, then back to 16. Yeah, I'm not sure. They'll work through that. They know
Diamond Scene fresh at 1600, second up was probably... that might be a month between runs by the time he gets to a railway.
Yeah, it would be.
Probably wouldn't be too bad for a horse like that.
He was terrific fresh, wasn't he? Terrific fresh. But they unearthed one in the last, Nickiana. Gee whiz, that was a good win. Rode the speed, ran time, and extended. Good win. Really good win.
Might be some form to follow out of that race. Unfortunately, statewide seems to be all coming up a little bit too quickly for statewide, maybe. But plenty of talent there, I think. Greg Al on the Retrovision text line. Hats off to Paddy Carberry when it comes to winning big races in WA. He almost always delivers at good odds and did it for me again yesterday with Red Sun Sensation. Would love to know his strike rate over the past decade.
In big races? Is that what you say? Yeah, look, I think Paddy's got a reputation, has he, of being able to get it done in the big races. There's not many ones in this state that he hasn't won, I would think. And, you're going to have to go to early this year. Clearly, he won the Quokka and Perth Cup. He finds a way to get it done on the big stage, and he'll be front and centre, you would think, at Ascot on the weekend with Joker's Grin resuming in the Prince of Wales. So looking forward to seeing, I think, it's fair to say, WA's best sprinter.
Yep.
Go around over
Joker's Green Saturday. The Asian Bow's going to be pretty much a railway field almost.
Yeah, it's going to be
Crusader,
a cracker.
Watch Me Rock.
Love and War.
There'll
be others there that we haven't mentioned, but yeah, it's going to be a cracker. It's going to be a cracker. I think Super Smink is going...
Wait a week
for the Lastia with her rating.
Yep.
Bonjoy will go to the Asian Bow as well. So it's going to be a terrific day's racing. And are we also thinking
the Prelude Placid Arc?
Yes, that's right. Yes, spot on. So yeah, great day's racing. Great day's racing to open November.
Get to see Elite Bow.
Yeah, I hope so.
In that race,
I hope so. Wasn't that a return the other day?
Rostislav, we know, is going that way. Luana Miss, hopefully.
Yes, I think so.
So
yeah.
Looking forward to that on Saturday, of course, Derby Day as well. That's over there at Flemington. Have your say on anything here on the Sports Daily? 0427 789 571 is the Retrovision text line number. Time now on the Sports Daily to catch up with Matt Welsh to chat all things Moonee Valley there on Saturday. Matt, a very good morning to you.
Good to be with you guys. Fantastic last day of racing at the Valley that we love and know at the moment. It's going to look different in a couple of years' time. But yeah, it was a great send-off, I thought, on Saturday.
What did you make of the Cox Plate, Matt?
Look, I don't think it was the strongest Cox Plate in history, and probably a couple of runners didn't really turn up at their best. I think Antino was very disappointing, who was a heavily back second favourite. Aliana didn't have the best of luck for Hugh Bowman, but I think they missed a trick with her, potentially not going to a Caulfield Cup. And we know Treasure the Moments had her issues with a colic setback, but I thought she was mighty brave in running third. But for me, the finish of the race was really the standout feature of it. Via Sistina and Buckaroo, the two Waller runners going to the line, locked together at about the 100-metre mark. I thought Buckaroo was going to nail Via Sistina, but she was tough. And it was a very different win, obviously, to her win 12 months ago, where she was so dominant. She posted a big rating. She smashed the track record. This was workmanlike. And credit to James McDonald. I thought it was an excellent ride. I thought the ride won her the race. Buckaroo was game. I think a little bit of rain just before the race certainly helped his chances. But terrific effort from him and terrific effort from Chris Waller and his team to quinella the race. I think he's now won 6 Cox Plates. Obviously 4 of them were winks, but he's won 6 of them, and J-Mac now 4 in a row. So, look, I think the finish probably saved the race. It was a grandstand finish. The crowd roared, and it's what we've become accustomed to in the Cox Plate. Yeah,
another great call from Matt Hill as well. James McDonald, his lofty standards meant he was probably going into Cox Plate a little bit down on form, I guess you could say, but got it right on the right day.
Yeah, he did. He only had 5 rides on Saturday, and I thought he actually put in 5 stunning rides. He rode a really nice horse in race 2, Napoleonic, who I think is now potentially headed to a Coolmore Stud Stakes. That was a dominant win from him in the second. If you want to follow a horse out of that race, I thought Live went quite well in running second, coming off a maiden win. He was aggressive on Stardom, who's a front runner who took out the Crockett Stakes. A couple of luckless runners in there that I'd definitely put in your black book in Taina Lule and Trey Magnifique. They're both still looking for runs, particularly Taina Lule. And I actually thought James was just about his best ride of the day was his losing ride on Enviable, who ran second in the Phillies Classic. And then he also ran second on Providence before winning the Cox Plate. So this is the time of year where he really brings out his best. He's had a couple of big carnivals the last 2 years. We know he'll be up in Sydney for a Golden Eagle Day this Saturday, but I think the last 3 days of the VRC Spring Carnival, he's certainly got his eye in.
So where do we sit now with Via Sistina, Matt? I think she's now a 10-time Group 1 winner, something like that. Like this is a ridiculously good CV she's been able to compile.
No, she certainly has. She's an outstanding mare, obviously a dual Cox Plate winner. There's been a number of multiple winners of the Cox Plate, but I think she'll retire with an outstanding CV. There's no doubt about that. She's done it in 2 hemispheres, which I think has her extremely valuable. She's a Group 1 winner overseas before she came to Australia. So Yulong have got an incredibly valuable daughter of Fastnet Rock on their hands. And in terms of where she ranks amongst recent champions, I think she's obviously well below your Winxes and Black Caviars and things like that, but she sits really comfortably on that rung below, those really, really good horses who are just below the absolute superstars. So, as I said, I don't think she's been at her best throughout this campaign, but that's what good horses do. When the fight's there to be taken, or the fight's taken up to you, they dig deep and they win, and she showed those fighting qualities on Saturday.
That piece of running rail that you grabbed after the Cox Plate, where'd you put it?
Yeah, no, the Uber driver had a bit of an issue with me opening both windows and having the running rails going out the side as we went across the freeway. That was extraordinary. Amazing scenes seeing the valley looted. I think there were people taking flower pots I saw. And
someone took a hashtag. What do you do with a hashtag? What on
I
earth?
don't know. Maybe someone desperately needs that for their living room. But, I didn't wake up with running rail around the kids' trampoline on Sunday morning. But, they were extraordinary scenes there at the valley.
Absolutely. All right, that's the Cox Plate. Actually, before we leave that being the last race there at Moonee Valley as we know it, Matt, I read a story that you penned during the week, and I think a lot of the sentiment has been how unfortunate it is that we lose Moonee Valley, but you sort of had a different take, and it might be the Valley's best chapter yet.
Yeah, well, look, I've been going to the Valley for a number of decades now. I love the Cox Plate. I love the place, but I'm a racing tragic. And I think, the reality, if you peel back what the Valley actually is, most Friday nights and on some of those run-of-the-mill Saturday meetings, it's a place that's really tricky for punters. It's tricky for jockeys and it's tricky for horses. I touched earlier on a couple of horses that had absolutely no luck in the Crockett Stakes. And that's the reality with the fluky short home straight is you have a lot of messy run races. You have a lot of unlucky horses and a lot of horses that aren't suited to the Valley. And we've seen in recent years that field sizes have really started to drop off on Friday nights with trainers preferring to run at big, spacious tracks like Pakenham. So we're going from a 173-metre home straight to I think it's about a 317-metre home straight with the new Valley. That should create a fairer layout for punters, one where we don't have as many hard luck stories, hopefully one that trainers want to send their horses to. And the facilities at the Valley, they've obviously been let to be run down because they know they're coming to the end of their life, but they're outdated. And to keep up with modern grandstand standards, they really need to be enhanced. And we're going to have a beautiful new grandstand overlooking the city. So, look, it's obviously there's a lot of sentiment around the Valley. It's been a fabulous home of the Cox Plate for so long. But I do genuinely believe that for punters, the new track will be fairer. It'll be better. And I think the new facilities are just going to be world class. So, it's been a great chapter, but I do genuinely believe the next one could be even better.
Matt, talking of new facilities and modern grandstand, all eyes now to Flemington, and it's still going to be a massive Saturday. No Champions Day on the final day of the carnival is taking away some of the focus from what we get on opening day, but this Saturday upcoming is still very special.
Oh, it is, absolutely. I mean, it's known as Derby Day. Probably the feature now is the Coolmore Stud Stakes, the 3-year-old sprinters. But I always get excited heading to Derby Day. You've got the three big Group 1 races. You've got the Empire Rose as well. And the team just does such a good job preparing the track in outstanding order. I did notice they've got a stop work happening on Wednesday. Some of the ground staff are taking a 24-hour stop work action due to a dispute over pay, but that won't impact how the track's presented. Liam O'Keefe will do a fantastic job. And, I think we saw probably the Derby winner there on Saturday in Observer. He was outstanding in taking out the Vars. Probably should have won the Guineas as well. The start prior was totally unlucky, and he only won by half a length. Mark Zahra completely throttled him down over the last 100 metres. He was lucky the race wasn't another 20 metres longer because he probably would have lost, but that would have helped ensure he's got a few tickets in the bank for Saturday's Derby. He's now into $1.75 and clearly the horse to beat. But, it's going to be a fantastic week. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other horses to follow that we can go maybe make some money off going to Flemington from Moonee Valley?
Oh, look, I'm not sure where she's going to go next, but I think Festus, who went around in the McEwen Stakes on Saturday, race 8, won by Jigsaw. She's airborne. She was terrific at Caulfield from an impossible position. She again just got too far back on a track. You couldn't come from the tail and circle them. She hit the line really well under Benny Mellum. So she was completely unlucky in a race down the straight during last year's VRC Spring Carnival. I think she is certainly one that I'd be following. And I touched on those two out of the Crockett. I think both Taina Lule, particularly Taina Lule, and to a lesser extent, Trey Magnifique. I think they were both unlucky and absolutely flying wherever they head next.
No, absolutely. Look forward to do it all again next Monday as we build up to Cup Day and we review Derby Day. Matt, thank you very much for your time and have a great week.
No, absolute pleasure, guys. Look forward to chatting next week. All
right, there's Matt Welsh from betsy.com.au recapping everything that happened there at Moonee Valley on Saturday. Don't have to worry about Moonee Valley now for 18 months.
No. So, what's it, August 2027?
Hopefully, if everything goes to right. And with construction, we know they're always on time.
Well, not always. But let's hope they're not sort of screaming out for about 70 metres of running rail come July 2027.
Well, the manufacturers will be happy. I'll have to put together some more.
I wonder what the bosses were thinking at Moonee Valley. Look, people on the track, that's fine. They were the great scenes. And then all of a sudden thinking, oh, look at that chap. Oh, look at him. Oh, there goes a pot plant. There goes some turf. There goes this. There goes that. There goes a banner. It was crazy scenes. Crazy scenes.
So it'll be similar, I imagine, to what happened this year. They'd have sort of 6 or 7 meetings before Cox Plate when they're back there in 27.
Yes, that's right.
All right. Beautiful. Looking forward to seeing how all that undevelops. And Dan Morton coming up on the Sports Daily next.
Wake Tab Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Okay, Dan Morton not too far away here on the Sports Daily, about 10 minutes or so. So a little bit of time for text messages, and we'll also do a little bit of a recap there from Ascot on Saturday. Diggers, with the Belgravia being the feature race on the program. King of Light for Dan Morton and William Pike. A little bit too good on resumption to racing, a little bit of a let up, 1,200 metres. I think that was a talking point about the horse. Was it going to be a little bit too sharp? Proved not to be.
No, it was terrific. He was good. I must admit, I think we all loved his first trial. Second trial, okay, but the first trial was like, wow, have a look at this horse. And then comes Saturday morning, I was umming and ahhing, and I ended up settling with Talk & Co, thinking just because of the figures out of that Max Simmons were outstanding. She hasn't run a bad race to date. And also thinking, maybe, just maybe, the 6 furlongs was going to be a bit short for King of Light, but William gave him a wonderful steer. And from there, when he pushed the button, he let down powerfully to grab Snitzelate, who, to be fair, was outstanding. Like, she was brilliant.
Yep, really good. It was a race where they didn't burn the clock too quick early. They've gone the West Speed Platinum Series on the same day. They've gone 1:10.49. The Belgravia's gone 1:10.93. So some of those horses back in the field. For King of Light to get over the top of them from where he was in the run, very good. Talk & Co still a pass mark, absolutely, going really well. I thought the other one, who finished off really well numbers-wise, My Authorita, got a long way back in the field, was able to reel off a final 600 metres of 33.75. So look at those figures. If you've backed My Authorita, but didn't seem to be too many people, drifted out to a massive price after a good trial, but still ran well. And I thought the other one that you could put a big circle around, God's Rapture, I thought was very good.
Yeah, she cut the corner, God's Rapture, Braden Garth, and then he was just strung up until she was able to poke through late, ran 6, beaten only a length and a half. She wasn't far away, no doubt about that. But certainly the performance of King of Light was good. Snitzelate, good. Mardusa's building, nice. Don't Wink was a run, wasn't it? Wasn't it terrific? Now 53.5 because Lecter was able to ride half a kilo over. But this filly's gone enormous, to be fair. And clearly she's a filly with ability because we've seen her thrown in the deep end previously and she hasn't been disgraced.
No.
Now, will she run 1,400? We're about to find out. You'd think Zoo Run will take benefit from that performance as we build towards a Burgess Queen on tomorrow week, isn't it? So it comes around really quickly. Yeah. Comes around really, really quickly. But no, there was some horses there that closed with a great deal of intent. And one of those, as you said, quite rightly, was Talk & Co.
All right, Testiferro ran 10th, was beaten 2 lengths. So that sums up the race a little bit. But a lot of connections, as we mentioned earlier, I think heading forward in the campaigns. Quite happy with what their horses were able to do. A little bit earlier on in the program, I think, the race previous to 72 plus 1,400 metres, I think there were a lot of people excited to see how this race played out. We've touched on Opportunistic, who was a little bit disappointing, I dare say, maybe saying at the 1,400 metres didn't suit, but Asphalt just continues to go from strength to strength. September born, very good.
Yeah.
And this form's going to stand up because we know how well Playing at Sweet's going.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, she blew a little bit in the market. There was good support here for September born, really good support. And Opportunistic, they came for Opportunistic just before they jumped here. He jumped at $2.65. It was a good go, Opportunistic, because when we did inside running, it was around $384, the quote for opportunistic, but the support was strong. But Asphalt, Josh Crispin, continues to do a wonderful job with this horse who, it must be said, continues to race at a really high level. So that's back-to-back wins this side of a spell, and we saw what he was able to do in the winter on those wet tracks. So credit to Josh, and Chris was aboard there on Saturday. The return of September Born was terrific. You know, off one trial, an entire... well supported, and he didn't shirk it. He was very, very good. He was just taken down by a horse who's clearly progressive and also had the run under his belt.
Yeah, absolutely. And a 2.5 kilo weight advantage, Asphalt, over September Born. But we spoke to Josh on Friday on the Hour of Power, and he mentioned if Asphalt was able to win a race like this, he probably needs to up his sights a little bit. And the first two in that race, you probably expect them now to see them in an RJ Peters a week before Railway.
Yeah.
Might as well have a throw at the subs, especially with Asphalt, who's in outstanding form.
They get a run?
I'd say typically it's not a full field, is it, the Peters?
I'm just going to have a look to last year when... Who won it last year? Mojo Rhythm, didn't he? I'm just going to have a look here. And how many went around last year? And he swamped down the middle of the track, didn't he, on that occasion? For Patrick Carberry, there were 10 in it. Mojo Rhythm, Yonga Lass, Amber Glide, Aztec Ruler, Investment Strategy, Russian to the Bar, Love and War. She was luckless on that occasion. Admiration Express, Rusty Dreams, Demolish, Scratchings, Maraschino, and Cosmic Crusader. So, look, I think Neville would love to get September Born into a railway. Maybe, just maybe, that's what you have to do, is put him in that race, or do you run him somewhere else? And look, he's going to take some benefit, you would think, from that first up performance, because we haven't seen him for a long time.
No, exactly right. Another big win on the day, and shout out to Amy Jo Hayes, who was able to ride a double, but the win of Antique Star was uber impressive.
Very good. Yeah, very, very good. Had to do some work in the run, but was nice and strong at the back end still. So that was a very good effort. She didn't get a lot of luck to start prior, Antique Star, but that was a good win.
Absolutely. B. Bardot earlier on in the day as well. She's going really, really well this campaign. The first up win, very good. She wasn't disgraced second up. The race wasn't run to suit, and then she got the run of the race there on Saturday at Ascot and took advantage.
Yeah, very much so. Look, overall, I'm thinking there are a few horses to follow out of that meeting, one being there in that race. One thing we haven't touched on, and it's early form, TC, but the 2-year-old of Tiana's is a nice horse. Mm-hmm. Just a nice horse. Jump, run, rose in weight there on Saturday, but he was even quicker out of the gates again. I thought he was dominant. You know, now in all likelihood he gets put away, comes back for, you know, the autumn races, maybe a Magic Millions, but yeah, look, I know it's at the opposite end of the spectrum because we're talking, you know, these listed and group races upcoming, but I must admit I'm a little bit of a sucker for the juveniles, but I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, Crystal Slipper, when's that?
Oh, that normally comes up throughout the Pinnacles, does it not?
Yeah, so 2 weeks from Saturday is just a 2-year-old race, and then...
Is that an 1100?
I didn't check that. I
think it would be.
Crystal Slipper, there we go, on the same day as the Railway, over 1100.
Still a month away.
A little too far away.
Maybe, but he's done his job now. He gets in whatever race connections would like him to. So, yeah, it's good to see. But, yeah, I don't know. What would you do with September Born if you were Neville? Would you, because if you don't get a run in the Peters, you know, could you throw in a nomination for the Asian Bow? Now, whether you get a run or not, knowing full well that if you win the Asian Bow, you burn points, yes, but you're in the Railway.
I think that'd be a nomination. I'd be surprised if he's not in the nominations tomorrow. September Born, you'd have a look. I think he'd be a lot more likely to get a start in the Peters than the Asian Bow.
Yes, I agree. But for the sake of a nom, chuck one in.
Yep.
Just chuck one in. And
then if you don't win a Peters, you can back up the week later, maybe a Carbine Club, which is typically not a full field as well. And whether or not he's keen to burn points with the horse, it sounds like he's pretty keen to get him to a railway.
Yeah.
So,
it might be a necessary evil.
On the back of that, you'd think with natural improvement to come, as you mentioned, we haven't seen him for a few months away from the races. He will be winning sort of a list. He could be winning a listed race with natural improvement.
Oh, yeah. It was, and Neville was quite bullish, and the money for him suggested the stable was very happy with where he was at, and it wasn't a lack of conditioning that got him on the weekend. I thought he raced really well. It was head up, head down, just missed.
Absolutely. And Nicky Armour, you've touched on already this morning, horse to follow out of the last.
Oh, it was a big win. Big win. Clock was good. Ran a length quicker than the 72 plus 1400. That was a very, very good win.
And then yesterday at Northam, what did we make of the Cup horses to follow there? You'd think there's a Lucky Grey Cup 2 weeks from Saturday. A lot of those horses would be going that way.
I think
1,800 metres.
It's a natural progression, isn't it? Red Sun Sensation was good. It had been a while since he'd won a race. The first up performance in a slowly run 1400 was good, was sound. But there on the weekend, or yesterday, Pat thought, nope, I'll go forward. Multinational handed up, and from there he was able to rate the race really well. Horse gave a kick upon straightening, and then when challenged in the straight, he found again. So credit to Sue. She's done a good job with this horse, so I think might just well be her favourite horse in the barn. So for this horse, for Awesome Rock, terrific to see him go there as now a 6-year-old and win start number 33. 33. He's won in excess of $500,000, the horse. He's been a good, solid horse. He's been a good money spinner, and the 2 runs back this time in, he's banked over 100,000. So onwards and upwards for him, you would think.
Quite popular in the Northern Cup was Captain Pluto, and he still ran quite well, just got a long way out of his ground. He was able to finish off the race in 33.44, so the final 600-metre fractions look very good. Similar to Secret Attraction from gate number 5. I was probably a little bit surprised to see that horse out far back in the field, but was able to finish off well. Both horses are on their way up, and I didn't mind the return of Iowa. I think ticking along okay.
Yeah, that was always going to be short of his preferred distance, but I'm with you. I thought if you're really looking for one going forward, Captain Pluto, I thought that was a terrific effort. As you said, he just took a long way back, but he was only second up there. Just got that negative racing pattern, but you watch for him over further.
Yeah, he'll be on his way to a Perth Cup, you think?
I think so.
Working it through it. All right, back to the Retrovision text line. Dan Morton not too far away. We'll catch up with him when he's free. Lisa from Allenbrook's got in touch. Happy Monday. In my opinion, with pick one, Eagles should pick up Dersma. Having him and Hardie, 2 big bodies in the midfield, could end up like Rowell and Anderson.
It's an interesting one, Dersma, because, you know, we always sit there and we go, oh, well, he's the brother of, he's this, he's that. Respectfully. Are we talking the Dersma boys as A-graders? Out-and-out A-graders?
No.
No, we're not. You know, we're talking like with the Selwoods, and now Joel was the youngest. I know that, but there's it's a bit like the Motlop boys, and we get drawn to these families because we know they can flat out play. There's no doubt about that. And this young man, I haven't seen a lot of him. I'm only sort of going on, you see clips and the rest of it. But it's not as if the brother is, and to be fair, the one at North probably hasn't had a great run of it.
What's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know. But, Xavier was at Port, now he's at Essendon. But again, if the 2 siblings prior to this young man coming into the system are best and fairest winners and Norm Smith medalist and the like, you go, yeah, hey, let's tip in here, strong. Mm-hmm. Just urge a bit of caution, that's all. But it is, different, strokes for different folks. I respect that.
George on the Retrovision text line. NRL sport-wise, saving the day for me. The haka before the NRL game was something to see. The passion was unbelievable.
Yeah, a lot of passion there yesterday with Samoa and Tonga, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt at all.
All right, turning our attention back to racing, we've got Dan Morton on the Sports Daily joining us. Dan, congratulations on Saturday, and thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, man. Thank you. It was a bit of a relief. Got him over the line.
Yeah, exactly right, Dan. How did you go in? Were you a little bit apprehensive about King of Light, knowing that there's more to play out yet, but there's a big spruik on this horse?
Oh, yeah. When you've got a handy one, you just sort of hope that they come back in good shape and whatnot. I did have a little hiccup with him a few weeks ago, so I was under all sorts of pressure, but, got him put back together and got the job done.
Was that around that time of the second trial, and what was that hiccup?
It was leading into it, yeah. I think he got himself cast in the yard and just was a bit not 100% there for a little bit. So, yeah, we had to, like I say, just do everything you got to do and got the result.
The 1200 on Saturday, Dan, what were you expecting to see from him, or did you get what you wanted?
No, I got probably everything we wanted and some. I think, it wouldn't have surprised me if they were too sharp for him, especially with a bit of race experience some had on their side going into the race. But, I thought he couldn't have been any more impressive, and we've always felt like the further he gets, the better he'll be. So, ticked a few boxes for us.
He won a couple of races in July, and then we've obviously seen him there on Saturday. Did he take a big jump physically from those two races there at Belmont to what we saw on Saturday?
He's always been a cracking type in my view, but he still furnished a bit while he was out. He only had a short time out. But yeah, he's a impressive looking horse.
How did he come through it, Dan?
Excellent. Yeah, so really looking forward to what lies ahead now.
Okay, traditional path forward. I know we've asked you that previously, but does that remain the same?
Yeah, for sure. We'll just the fair ether in a fortnight and get his hopefully all going well.
You think he's going to improve to 1,1600 metres?
I would just think naturally he will. So that's we'd expect him to come forward, especially fitness-wise as well. So, I'm really looking forward to, mile with him.
Dan, it never looked like it was going to be my Authoritas race the way it shaped out on the weekend, but I know he's finished 12th, but all in all, I dare say you were happy with what you saw?
1,200 metres, drew, one from the outside. It was always going to be awkward for him, but I think if I'm right, he ran the second quickest last 600 and he had a bit of a checkered path to get, to achieve that. So, again, it's probably all we needed to see with him, and pressing forward towards the mile, I think it's going to be, more to his liking.
How much is there between King of Light and My Authorita, do you think?
Oh, they've done a little bit of their work together. As much as I can tell you, really, like who knows where they end up. Obviously King of Light looks the exciting one. The other one was 30-1 in the race the other day. So, who knows? I don't know really, but I am looking forward to both of them moving forward.
Okay, now will horses like Bootalese, where does he link up in the picture?
He's done nothing wrong as well. He's building into a really nice, strong horse. So I think his next outing Saturday. In the fair ether, and then again looking forward to further ones with him. He's a big, strong, likely looking horse. So he couldn't have been more impressive when he won there the other day. So got a little bit of ammo coming forward, hopefully.
So are they just the three you'll have in the fair ether?
Yes.
Yeah. Burgess Queen for the fillies. We have a fair bit of representation there.
The two likely ones are Pure Excess and a mental blank. The other filly that raced good the other day, Chris Hunter. Sorry, just having a mental blank. But there's a couple of options. Yeah, correct. So we just got to work out whether one might go down the path of the Placid Arc Prelude and Placid Arc, or keep them both to the fillies races. But we'll have a chat with BJ and Connections today and try and work that out.
How did you assess the return of Super Smink in the Crawford last Saturday week, Dan?
Yeah, excellent. It was no surprise to me. She's been, humming all the way along. She looks really robust now and fit and sound. So I thought it was a great effort. I thought she was there to win and didn't get that result, unfortunately. But plenty to like.
Does she race Saturday, or do you wait for the Listia?
She'll wait. So it's free another 2 weeks now. So nervous 2 weeks ahead, just trying to keep a lid on everything. But get a few sleepless nights closer to the bigger ones.
Good problem to have.
Dan, you've been in the game a long time, and you've had some really good ammo previously. How does the current crop of horse flesh that's in your stable at the moment compare?
Yeah, really good. I sort of was coming into this carnival probably a month, 6 weeks ago. I was really up and about our 3-year-olds. A couple of those, unfortunately, just had to go back to paddocks, like Two Darn Stormy and Inconfident. So we lost a couple of the nice ones coming in. But the closer we've got to these bigger races, the more I think it's just across the board a really good, healthy batch of 3-year-olds. So, we've got a couple, but I think that was visible there on the weekend. I think there was about 3 lengths between first and 10th. So it's a pretty healthy batch.
Absolutely. What did you make of the return of American Escape on Saturday?
Look, she was okay. She's a bit of a difficult filly or mare to handle. She's not that user-friendly. I think she gave Pikey a bit of a hard time from the get-go, and she buggled the start a little bit and was just difficult from then on. But, yeah, she's a bit of a tradesman for us. She'll be, if she gets that start right, which she normally does, she'd have been competitive. But, yeah, it just wasn't her day Saturday.
Dan, we know you're very busy. Thanks so much for your time this morning, mate, and congratulations again on the weekend.
No, thanks, guys. Cheers.
There's Dan Morton after the wing of King of Light, and the nice return for My Authority in the Belgravia there on Saturday at Ascot. So a Burgess Queen is shaping up to be a very nice race.
It is.
Riva Aquarama couldn't have done too much more there at Belmont midweek.
No, exactly right. So I think also in the Faritha, is it Rockfest, the horse of the Pierces, that will resume there, 1400. So, we've got good 3-year-old boys, we've got good 3-year-old girls. There's a bit to look forward to, but you touched on it a little bit earlier, TC. The WA Guineas all in market with Tab Touch. King of Light off the back of what he did there on the weekend in a good race. It must be said, the Belgravia. It's always a good race and a great indicator. $2.75. $2.75. He's a Phoenix Rockfest, $11. Elite Bow, $12. Sure if he's going that path yet. We can check with Grant and Alana. Snitzalate, 12. Delta Sun, 13. Mardusa, 13. So Delta Sun made a mess of his opposition on Wednesday, didn't he, as a heavily backed odds-on favourite, as you would expect he would have.
Spoke to Merrill Haley on Thursday on the Sports Daily, and he's going to the Faritha.
Yeah.
He's a Phoenix, would be in the Faritha?
You'd think so. He's got a good race in him. I'm adamant, Delta Sun. I don't know if it's this time in, whether it's in the autumn. I think he's a really nice horse.
Tell you what, you go through those 3-year-olds and both of these races at 1,400 metres, tomorrow week and then Saturday week, they're going to be crackers.
Yeah, they are. And let's hope, whether we see it or not, let's hope we get to see some fillies go against the boys, the 3-year-old fillies. Now, whether they bypass the champion fillies and go to the Guineas or whether they elect to go there and then go to the Guineas, but they add so much when the girls and the boys clash.
Yeah, they do, absolutely. Whether or not sort of a presence of King of Light maybe
good call,
shies you for the champion fillies to have a crack that way. And then by the time you get to a Guineas Jubies, they've done a fair bit of work, but a horse like Planet Sweet's already done a fair bit of work.
Yeah, she was good again on the weekend.
Flying.
I thought. Yeah, she went well. And look, we'll get to see our girl can run. We touched on it with Mitchell Pateman, didn't we, on Friday morning? The champ's horse, cracking time, he saluted, but he did indicate that our girl can run will go around in a Burgess Queen and where she'll hopefully paint the rail and she'll give them something to catch.
Tell you what, there might be some nice horses missing out on the field there for the Burgess Queen. I've named a few already. Up to double figures, I think.
Yeah, like Playing It Sweet goes there, Our Girl Can Run goes there, you'd think Talk and Co goes there, Snitzalate will go there, so the top end's going to be very, very strong, you would think.
Riva Aquarama.
Yep.
We spoke about Super Smink there, the Railway Stakes. That's where she's obviously going via a weight for age 1,400 metre Lastia. Cosmic Crusader at 450 with Tab Touch. $9 Super Smink. Western Empire at 11. Watch Me Rock at 11. See Saturday in the Asian Bow, I dare say. Watch Me Rock.
I think so.
Bon Joy at $12. Pericles at 13. Steffi Magnetica, I think we were pretty confident she was going to be coming, but now that she won another race, I think she was rated about 116 prior to the weekend. She's at $15, so, I mean, it'd be very tough for her to come and win a railway.
Hasn't she been a mighty mare?
Yeah, for sure.
Daughter of All Too Hard, and the manner in which she won on the weekend, well supported, found the line, and it just continues Bjorn's great run over there on the East Coast.
Yeah, opportunistic there at $16. September Born, who we spoke about, at $15, trying to get into the field. Don't think at the moment Asphalt's actually nominated for a railway stake, so whether or not they need to make some decisions there, Josh, this week, whether they go to the Peters and chance their arm and try and get into a railway. Not too sure. We'll keep you updated throughout the week here on the Sports Daily. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more.
This is a famous victory, a magnificent performance.
On This Day in Sport is brought to you by Loans 123.
What a legend. What a champion.
Who do you see? Steve Sell at loans123.com.au or call 1800 100 100.
All right, big 28th birthday today for Lonzo Ball Diggers.
Lonzo Ball, okay.
Lonzo has battled his injuries.
Yes, he has.
Now in Cleveland.
Your boys?
End of the third quarter up. They're up on Milwaukee at the moment, 86-84.
Okay.
On this day in 2019, Tiger Woods scores a wire-to-wire three-stroke victory over Hideki Matsuyama at the inaugural Zozo Championship. That ties Sam Snead's record of 82 victories on the PGA Tour.
You wonder what it might have been for Tiger. We know he's arguably the greatest of all time, but had he not had, the off-course issues and or the injuries, what he might have been able to do.
Arguably. You're not convinced he's the best golfer of all time?
No, Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus won more majors than him. So I'll say Jack. Others will say Tiger, I get that, but I think what Jack Nicklaus has done would have him very much in the argument.
On this day, 2004, Pedro Martinez wins Game 3 of the World Series, helping the Red Sox secure their first championship in 86 years.
86 years.
86 years.
Boston Red Sox.
And they've won a handful since
Famous franchise, yeah, very much so.
You mentioned they came back from 3-0 down against the Yankees in...
Yeah, and that was one of those ones where I think it ended the curse or something. I should know that. Let me have a check. There was...
It's around 30 for 30.
Yeah, it has been. I think it has been. I'll just have a check, TC, because it's around this time. Here we go, 2004. 2004, yeah, that's it. The Boston Red Sox ended the curse of the Bambino, an alleged hex that began in 1920 when the team's owner sent Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees in exchange for $125,000 and a personal loan by defeating the St. Louis Cardinals to win the World Series title. Red Sox first MLB championship in 86 years.
So the World Series at the moment 1-1, I think.
1-1, yep. The Dodgers.
Toronto Dodgers.
Toronto won Game 1.
Yep.
Dodgers hit back, so Game 3 will be tomorrow in LA, I think it is.
Yep, so the next 3 I think will be in LA, and then the final 2, if needed, will be in Toronto. World Series underway. Markets there with Tab Touch if you're looking to get involved.
On the Sports Daily, it's time to introduce the 1985 Brownlow medalist from the Footscray Football Club at Brad Hardie. This segment is proudly presented by Retrovision, Loans 123 and Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers. Introducing the boy from Hilton, the AFL guru, Brad Hardie.
Good morning to you, Bradley.
Very good morning, Diggers. Good morning, TC. Good to be with you, boys. Yeah, I can help you on my show on Saturday, Diggers. We had Johnny Deeble, the former Australian baseball coach who led us to an Olympic silver medalist. He is now one of the chief recruiters for the LA Dodgers, TC. And he was also he was part of that Red Sox when they busted that Bambino, the curse of the Bambino, as you said. Diggers, Deeps has got 6 rings already, looking for a 7th. They given to all of the participants, plus the recruiters and all of that sort of stuff. So they're worth a bit of money too. That I think he said the curse of the Bambino ring buster is worth about $200,000 each. So that's not bad, is it? So good luck to him. And he just managed to cobble up a little bit with his mates. They got 5% of a horse called El Rifa. Running around in the Melbourne Cup next week. So good luck to Deeps and those boys. Not bad, eh?
No, not bad at all. And, of course, we're about to get underway in the NFL Sunday Night Football, Diggers. You like overs in that game?
I do. Yeah, I think that game will go overs. Aaron Rodgers looked like he recaptured some of his best form recently. So that was a high-scoring affair against Cincy, I think it was.
Yeah, boys, we've got a lot to talk about, but I just want to say I'm probably in the minority, so don't be frightened. Speak up, and I'm sure you might get a little bit of traffic on the Retrovision SMS line. I'm really shattered that the Cox Plate, it's probably the last we'll see of the proper ones, I reckon. I don't have any problem with creature comforts, Diggers. I'm all for getting new ablution box seating, grandstands, etc. But I'm really, really miffed, to be brutally honest, TC, that they're ripping up the Cox Plate course, the track itself. I mean, because it's a unique shape. You've been there many times, Diggers. It continues to turn. You go down the back, then all of a sudden they take off at the school. Then they come around the corner and they come up the straight. And, you know, it's been a unique race. It's an amphitheatre as it was. So I don't mind, as I say, refurbishing the stands, etc. But, you know, what about some of the folklores we've had? You know, taking off at the 1,000, Bone Crusher versus our Waverley Star. Kingston Town can't win, but he did. You know, the Valley Rumbles with Might and Power, Sunline, Via Sistina, Winks, So You Think, multiple winners. Don't forget the Fighting Tiger, who beat Sunline and Viscount in that with our man Diola aboard. You're not going to get that again. It's not the new grandstands or the residential that they're building on so you can look over the city. It's the bloody track. It's a ripper. You know, it's the new straight's going to be twice as long. It's not going to have those little isms. You know, yeah, I don't know what you boys think, but I'm sort of devastated a little bit. I get it. Progress stands still for no one, but they should have kept the course as far as I'm concerned.
So you're saying, Brad, because they're changing the dimensions of the track, we're no longer going to see a Great Cox Plate?
I'm worried. I am worried. Look, there'll be new stars. We know that, Diggers. You know, but it won't be the same, will it? You know, I just don't feel as though it's the same. That was the uniqueness of it. I mean, it's like ground rationalisation, you know, isn't it, in AFL? You know, you just lose a bit of fabric of the racing industry, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. In fact, if you could, reconfigure the housing, reconfigure the stands, all of that sort of stuff. But, you know, maybe and bring the bloody trots back to Moonee Valley and get them out of Melton because no one goes.
I think it just highlights the fact that a lot of these race clubs, Brad, they're sort of struggling to survive and keep their money afloat. Therefore, they need to bring in new things. And Moonee Valley, I think they're putting footy fields in the middle. I think there's soccer fields going in the middle. There's infield activities. I think that's what you need to do with the land, especially where it is in Melbourne. Moonee Valley, it's a perfect spot.
Could still do that. And there's no problem with that. We know there's a tunnel that goes underneath to get you inside the course and park in the middle of the ground. That's all still there. I don't have a problem with that, but I just feel we're going to lose. I mean, this is an industry over here, boys, who won't move anything in their spring carnival, will they, Diggers? I mean, oh no, we can't do that. The rich history of, you know, this race or that race, they won't do that. But they'll go and do, you know, sort of cosmetic things like what they're going to do. And they're going to spend a shed load of money, TC, to fix it up. Maybe money they don't even have. There you go.
Yeah, look, I'll be in the opposite end of the room, Brad, with you on this one, but that's okay. That's fine. I think everything needs to be upgraded along the way, and Moonee Valley with its facilities and the straight.
No problem with the facilities.
No, and the track.
No,
I think we're going to see a fairer track. I think that's what we want. I think there's a lot of horses there and/or owners, punters, and you look at Moonee Valley and you go, from where we've drawn.
It'd be interesting to see the turnover figures if it goes up with a new track, because if it is, like we say, fairer, I'll use quotation marks, whether or not people are happier to bet there than they are at the moment.
But again, the uniqueness of it, this is the premier race in Australia, bar none. Now, I know the Melbourne Cup captures even the non-racing fan at the time. The Everest is building. This is the premier race for me. It's the Weight for Age Championship of Australasia. We've had Romantic Warrior. We've had all these brilliant horses come to Australia to try and some win. But generally the best horse wins anyway, doesn't it? You know, I mean, I don't think we could argue.
But does that change, Brad? Does that change? We can't say definitively now that that's not going to change in 27.
Yeah, well, I think the best horses have to adapt. I mean, you saw that with Via Sistina the other day. We spoke to racetrack Ralphie yesterday. She ran 14 lengths quicker than she did last start in the run. So that's they can adapt. I mean, he took off a long way out, didn't he? You thought, oh, dearie me. And she was in trouble on the corner. She looked like she was in trouble. Buckaroo had a cold. Treasure of the Moment was kicking on. But eventually, just when it got push come to shove, she became, and great call by Matty Hill too, by the way, because I thought she was done 50 metres out, TC. I don't know what you thought, Diggers, but he called it. He said, she's fighting. And I'm going, hang on, you sure? Anyway, and he was right. And I was happy to be wrong because I was with her, and I think most of the punters were. So it wasn't a good day for the bookies, I'm sure.
No, exactly right. Ended of the day with a couple of short price favourites getting over the line there at Moonee Valley, and then we We lost all the facilities there at Moonee Valley as well. We lost the pot plants, we lost the running rail,
mate.
Lost some
turf.
turf.
You tell me? Can you tell? I don't mind that. Can you tell me what they were doing, please, TC? How are you going to put the running rail in the taxi or the Uber? Where were you going to take it?
You'd have to catch the tram home. One bloke at the end, one bloke at the start.
People are strange, aren't they? Pension pot plants were probably worth $4 at Bunnings. Seriously. Anyway, good on them.
Yeah, exactly. What else is bubbling, Brad?
Oh, look, I just want to give a shout-out to the King is now the Queen, Alana King. What about her effort on the weekend? That was unbelievable what she did with her bowling. She just absolutely mesmerised the South Africans. 7 for 18. It was brilliant. 7 overs, 2 maidens, 3 were caught, 4 were bowled. That's the most by a female in ODIs in Australian history, which is fantastic. She just nudged out Elise Perry and Shelley Niski, 7 for 22 and 7 for 24, each of 2. But I had to say that was the 4th in that platform of all time, Diggers, and I thought, how does that work out? I said, that it doesn't get much better than that, does it? But anyway, it's true. And but the first 3 girls, TC, were games who were names of nondescript cricketers, to be brutally honest. I think there was one there. I think it was. I just can't find it. I had it there before, but she took had 9 overs and got 7 for 4 or something like that against Denmark or something like that, So anyway, but well done to Alana King. How good's she going, Diggers? She's becoming like the Shayne Warne of female cricket.
Yeah, terrific return. Absolutely terrific return. And that Australian side, they just continue to tick along at a ridiculously good clip and have done for as long as you can remember. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah, I've just found it for you, boys. It was a Pakistani female, Sajida Shah. She took 7 for 4 TC off 8 overs against Japan.
7 for 4 against Japan. You'd get a game there, Diggers, for Japan?
No, I'm not. I'm not Japanese. How can I get a game for Japan if I'm not from Japan?
It's like the soccer and the basketball. You just
born in Japan. My parents aren't Japanese.
You just nominate your country these days.
Mozambique.
Digby.
No, you wouldn't get a game for them.
Yeah. Wax on, wax off, Digby.
Yeah, anyway. Now, Brad, the draft, there's a lot of talk about it, Dersma and the like. How good is this kid?
Well, he's a pretty good athlete by the look of it. But I'm a little bit reticent. I'm disappointed for the kids because I reckon they're being stereotyped, to be brutally honest. I think they always say it's a shallow draft, it's this, it's that. But as we said last week, I think we touched on it, that there was a half a dozen players for Geelong and Brisbane who came through rookie-listed drafts, who played really, really well. They're playing in the grand final, for God's sake. You find these diamonds in the rough, don't you? If you look hard enough. Yeah, there's no doubt Dersman is on the tip of everybody's lips, and I think that West Coast will be certainly challenged by, I think, Essendon. I think they'll look to try and get up to pick 2 if they can, and that might mean giving up pick 5 and another first round of the West Coast to satisfy them, or maybe something else. We'll see, because I think they're pretty keen on him as well. So if West Coast don't happen to pick him, they may well. But if they don't happen to pick him, I'm sure Essendon want to be there. So it's another opportunity for the West Coast. Because my understanding, as I said last week, I think, TC, that I don't think they're going to use all of their picks in the national draft, the West Coast Eagles. I think they're reserving a few for the following drafts, the rookie, and also clearly they've got extra picks there, and the pre-season train-on draft. So, yeah, I think they're looking to try and do a bit of both, get something for the future and something for today, with players that we spoke about last week, Schoenberg, those type of players to train McRae, to train on with them. But look, there's a few out there. There's a kid called Dyson Sharp from South Australia, who's a mid. Played a bit of senior footy last year there. He's well fancied. Cooper Duff Tyler. And he's a tall forward, but I think the Eagles have probably got enough of them. He comes from the Calder Cannons. Dersman we spoke about. And there's another kid from the Geelong Falcons called Josh Lindsay. He's a halfback flanker, left footer, and got a bit of turn of speed. So I think from a West Coast point of view, don't write him off, because most clubs want that type of player now, Diggers, don't they? You know, the Wanganeen Millera, the Jordan Clarks type. That's what they want, you know, and West Coast don't really have that, to be brutally honest. I'm sure they don't have it. So, yeah, they're the type of players they're talking about, maybe in line to come across to as the first pick for West Coast. We'll wait and see.
Essendon, the only ones rumbling around moving up or down the draft order. There doesn't seem to be too much news around that.
Well, they're the only ones, I believe, who've got the goods. You know, I think, what have they got, Diggers? They got 5, 6. There's a few in the late teens, early 20s. I mean, no one else has got that to trade. And West Coast, you know, their strategy is, they've got Starcevic, they've got Devon Robinson, got Young, you know, looking at a few more, I'm sure, get a few of these train-on players and then go into the draft. So if it is, you know, generally the first 20 or so are pretty good, aren't they? It doesn't matter what year it is. And there's some gems in the rough, as we say, after that. So West Coast want to make sure they're in the first round, because I think those back-end ones won't mean a thing to them, because they probably, as I say, I don't think they'll be using them.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah. Look, I think what West Coast does is going to set them up for the future, but would you be reticent to split them? What do you do, Brad? If you're West Coast, what do you think they should do? What would you do? What would you do?
Well, I'd take the best kid, which is Dersma.
Yeah.
And then I'd split 2. And if I could get 2 more inside first-round picks, you know, it might be 5. And what's Essendon's the next one, Diggers? I'm not even sure. I'll have a look while we're chatting. But I think, if you can get 3 for 2, 3's better than 2. And that's not always guaranteed either. We know that. I mean, there's been a lot of top 10 picks who don't graduate to where we would hope or expect them to do that. So I think you're better off having a little bit of insurance. So clearly, you know, 3 is better than 2. So I'd certainly be thinking about, you know, splitting the pick 2 for 2 other first-round draft choices if you want to stay in that regard.
All right, so at the moment we've got West Coast, Richmond, and then Essendon 5 and 6, and then Essendon come back into the draft at 21 at this stage. So,
all right,
they're not going to give up 5 and 6 for 2, are they?
No, they won't, but they might give up 5 and 21. What's West Coast? They got
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
And then 13.
13, and then what's after that? Maybe one more.
Yes, they have 34. 34
yeah, well, 34 might be. 34 might become 21. So, as I say, if they want to go that way, I think they do. I think they want to have 3 or 4 picks. So, but it's whilst it doesn't sound enticing, I mean, 21's still good, isn't it, Diggers? I mean, it's not. You generally can find something, you know, in that first round. So that's what they'll be contemplating for sure. Whether they do it or not remains to be seen. But yeah, it'd be worth considering strongly for sure.
Is Banfield likely to be bid on early, or they'll be able to pick him up late in the draft?
I think they'll be able to get him, I think, under the new policy. That'll be good.
I don't think he's going to go early.
Yep.
I think they're spruiking that they might have a crack at the Carlton kid, Peter Dean's kid, isn't it? I think they're talking about that, because there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's been the argument all along, where clubs have just been sitting on their hands rather than challenging for an Ashcroft or whatever it may be and making that club pay. But so that I think that's more likely the method behind their madness. You know, should put one over the bow, make Carlton work. You know, so amongst other things, and then you don't know what, because it can scramble things, can't it? As I said, Diggers, you've been in it as long as I have. You know, the top 30 TC are pretty much the same names, it's just a different order of preference. So if you can put a cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak, by putting somebody out, who knows? You rattle the cage and something might fall your way.
Anything else, Brad, before we let you go?
No. I just enjoyed the weekend's racing. I thought it was outstanding. I thought you boys do. And I just wonder, Diggers, who did you play junior footy for?
Who did I play?
Or cricket?
Oh, I played junior footy. Or it was countries.
Far back we go.
Oh, good, yeah?
Yeah, alongside a few, including one Lee Walker, who was, surprise, somewhat of a dominant force in underage football. he used to grab the footy out of the ruck and under 12s, have a bounce and kick a goal, go back, do it again. It was ridiculous.
TC might be able to post it on the socials. I sent him a pic. I said there's something that Diggers and Reece Walsh have got in common. Reece Walsh, of course, made an outstanding debut for the Kangaroos on the weekend, scoring 2 tries and stopping 2 tries.
Yeah.
And like you, Diggers, playing for countries in your debut and you were best on ground. And
the budgies.
You went around the ground, were taking selfies with a box brownie in your budgie smugglers. What about Reece Walsh? Who does that?
Well, you know who does it?
That's like Michael Hutchins.
You know who does it? Reece Walsh. And
Reece Walsh.
Who can only do it? Reece Walsh.
Reece Walsh.
He's built similar?
Box office, sorry.
Are you built similar to Reece Walsh?
Not at that age.
I sent TC the photo, Diggers, so you might be able to put that up on socials. And
it's a
just
great
imagine
photo.
Digby doing this. It's a ripper, isn't it? Well,
I know he's caused some grief for NRL hierarchy and hijinks, and I dare say he will again. He's been caught with, possession of cocaine. He's done some things that he shouldn't have done. But the young man is going to be the face of the league for a long time. And he's engaging. He's got a bit of rat bag in him, but gee whiz, he's a star, a proper star.
He's good. He's good for rugby, isn't he? And you think about it, and he had drinking water out of his own toilet, or his new toilet anyway.
That's
the sort of
put
thing.
his hand up to play in Vegas next year, you think?
Well, I think he needed, in all due respect, I think he might have needed to get some permission to travel abroad because of some of the...
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
Because of the possession charge and all of that, yeah.
And again, push ahead Pete's going on with the... can you imagine 18 hours of... we love rugby. I don't mind. I love the game. But I don't think I could watch 18 hours in a row, could you?
Oh, yeah, I could. You give me good rugby
18
league.
hours?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh.
Yeah, good rugby league's great.
Yeah, I agree, but 18 hours of it in a row, there's going to be some flat spots somewhere. I'm sure of that. I'm sure. Anyway, we're here for Morts. He's a ripper. 17 stores. Got to be one near you. Group 1 Morts. The Nude Nut, 1-800-100-100. He can do things the banks can't. We keep reminding people of that. And Frankie Lee at Ross's Auction. He's statewide as well, boys. He's a champion. So I'll look forward to chatting to you tomorrow.
Absolutely. There's Brad Hardie, the 1985 Brownlow medalist. Winners and losers tomorrow with Brad.
Brad Hardie is proudly presented by Retrovision, Loans 123, and Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers. Retrovision, lowest price guaranteed. RAC members save 5%. Loans 123 for all your loan needs. Call Steve Sell on 1-800-100-100. Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers, the leading auctioneering firm in WA.
Tab Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Matt Young not too far away with his tips for Pinjarra. We'll get to those very, very shortly, but a couple of more text messages on the Retrovision text line 0427 789 571. Slammer's got in touch again. You West Coast mob can bugger off. No need to bid on Harry Dean.
Yes, fair enough. Fair enough.
This one's from Gordon. Hardie is the only person in Australia who likes Moonee Valley. Bad for horses, jockeys, trainers and owners.
As I said there, I'm not sure you can draw the conclusion. And Brad is well within his rights to have that view. I disagree wholeheartedly. I'm not sure how you can say a track is going to dictate whether we have a great race or not, to be fair. But that's my opinion. Brad's got his. That's okay. We're allowed it. We're entitled to disagree.
Mark from Vic Park's on your side, Diggers. Brad is 100% wrong. Best thing they are doing is changing the track shape. I know a lot of people see Moonee Valley and they don't bet there.
Yeah. Are you a Moonee Valley punter?
Probably more so over the last 18 months to 2 years than I was previously.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know why.
I don't get it.
Maybe I was just terrible at punting. Or maybe I still am.
Yeah, I don't get the track. And I know we used to speak to Dean Lester about it and Warren as well. May they rest in peace, those two great men. But you used to say, well, what does the rail... Because they always explained it.
I think it's become a lot fairer over the last... Well, certainly this season's been very good. I think it's played very well since they got back there in August maybe. And then last year, I think... towards the end of its season, say the autumn, it was getting a little bit leaderish. But prior to that, I think it was okay. The last 2 years of Cox Plate, Saturday and then the Friday meeting beforehand, I think he's played pretty well. I don't think you could have any complaints about the track over the weekend.
Yeah.
Despite there being, 18 races in.
Well, to be fair, that track, when they have had the Moonee Valley Carnival, it's held up incredibly well. It really has. Like, you think, oh, geez, 2 days of racing, rail and the true, what are we going to see late on day 2? You see a pad which is, to be fair, yes, it's warm, but it hasn't been at a point where you go, gee whiz, it's deteriorated, this track, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly right.
Congrats to all concerned.
Well, Napoleonic early in the day looped them, and then I think you saw sort of Von Hawk sneak up the inside and then get the gaps late and burst through the middle. So horses from everywhere could win.
Yep.
Leaders were winning. They were coming from the back, so I think it was a very fair track. Best horses sort of won throughout the day. Here's another one. Brett, morning, boys. I'm glad the Moonee track is getting changed. Can never seem to get winners there. Too much track bias for my liking.
Yes.
So some of the pictures you see about Moonee Valley is going to look awesome. It's new state-of-the-art stuff, and as we mentioned, race clubs, they need to make money somewhere else, because obviously a track like Moonee Valley, you get Friday night racing on the regular, but outside of that, on your Saturdays, when you can make money to sort of cover your costs for the year, they don't get a lot of big Saturdays.
And put it this way, I'd rather punt on a track that has got a straight in excess of 300 metres than one that's got a track of 170 odd metres.
So you're not a fan of Mornington?
No. Absolutely. That's just like that and Launceston. They're just like saucers. There's no straight. It's just, they just go round and round and round.
Just a little dog leg.
Oh, it's bizarre. It's like, they're just strange. You know what they remind me of, those two tracks? They remind me of, when you go to the show and you've got the bumper cars and you've got the inside of the rail of the bumper cars. That's what it's like, those two tracks.
What are you drawing?
Well, like the bumper cars.
Just draw a circle.
That's what it's like. It's like there's there's
nothing.
I think Mornington's a horrible track.
Oh, gee whiz.
No, don't get me started.
What about parking tickets?
They're shocking as well. They can go forth and multiply, and anyone who gives them.
Speaking about tracks, shout out to the team at Ascot. That's played really well thus far.
Brilliant. Absolutely concur 100%. And to be fair, that track, over the last 18 months, 2 years, it's been Mickey Mouse. Brilliant.
Spot on. Yep. Lee from Wattle Grove. From everything we've seen to date, the current 3-year-old crop look to be the best in a long time. It's not just one or two standouts. Great for WA racing.
Look, I hear... Is it Lee, you said?
Yeah.
I hear you, Lee. I do. But cast your mind back, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago? We had a filly by the name of Amelia's Jewel. We had another horse by the name of Zip Away around that, that stage, or Bustler. Was Zip Away and Amelia's going head-to-head?
Zip Away was in the Guineas with Super Smink.
Which would have been... I'm going to have a check here, TC, because Amelia's Jewel won the Guineas. So she's...
Zip Away won a Guineas?
He won so it couldn't have been that year. Let me just... I'm calling this up here. Amelia's Jewel won a Guineas. In that Guineas, she beat Bustler.
Okay.
Like Bustler's clearly went on to win a Group 1. All the King's Men was in that race. We know that All the King's Men was a seriously good horse. So I get it. We've got some outstanding 3-year-olds at the moment, but you talk about Amelia's Jewel and Bustler, they're both Group 1 winners. And they're in that 3-year-old crop of 2022-23.
Get mixed up with the Kingsmen. Who won the Derby? Not All the Kingsmen.
No, the other one, the son of a lot, wasn't it? The other one.
Something to do with Men and Kings.
Yeah. Anyway, he won that.
A lot of Kingsmen.
Not sure. Don't ask me that. I should know that,
it's
but I don't.
Pretty late on a Monday.
Yeah, plus we're winding up.
Robbie, is there any update on West Star?
West Star is back. West Star is back in WA. And I think Simon is working out what to do.
Okay. But we'll race on? Oh, that's part of the discussion.
Correct.
Okay. Who's this? Not happy.
Uh-oh.
Peter from Calabaran. Shocking ride on Captain Pluto, he says.
Oh.
Via Sistina could not have won from there.
Whoa, okay then.
I think she would have been hard to beat in the Northern Cup.
She would have carried some weight. She would have set a weight carrying
Still
record
would have been hard to
as a going in as a 9-time Group 1 winner in a Northern Cup with a rating of 115 odd. She might have had 68 kilos.
Yeah, it's only 15 over the minimum.
Yeah, well, I think she would have found it difficult. But look, this is the argument, isn't it? Like, Captain Pluto over 1600 second up with what's in store. No, exactly. It's fair to assume, and that gentleman who sent through that text, it's a little bit of buyer beware there. Would that be fair?
Yeah, well, it's part of the punting, isn't it? You go into the race and you've done your speed maps and you take that into account. There's every chance that Captain Pluto, with his racing pattern, first up he was with Chanel on, he was near last, second last, third last.
Yes.
And ran well. And he still ran well there on the weekend. Third up, once he gets out to 1,800 metres, with maybe a little bit more tempo in the race, he can make his presence felt.
A lot of good men.
A lot of good.
Was the Derby winner, so we know that is the half.
So there was no
Kingsman
Bustler.
No, so
there
he
was
won.
Some good men.
Yeah, so yeah, we're talking, and that was last year's crop of 3-year-olds. Like Machine Gun Gracie's a pretty good one.
We haven't seen her yet either.
No, that was this year. So we I think each year, for some reason, I don't know why, but we always sit back and go, wow, we've got an excellent crop, and fortunately, we're doing the same again this year, which is terrific.
I think it's a very, very deep crop too this year.
Yeah.
Of 3-year-olds.
I don't disagree with that.
To seeing them. Yep. V-Man's text in. Cosmic Crusader Railway, King of Light Northerly. About a month ago, they were at $35. I've already sent my congrats to the old master and reminded him not to stuff it up. Dickers, bad day to be in Freo yesterday with the blessing of the fleet. Ah, there you go, extra busy.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't know, but...
You didn't get down to the marina?
No, I didn't. I got stuck at the Fremantle Markets, Taylor. And stuck,
across the road. You were doing nothing. You were stuck.
Oh, I tell you, drove around and around for 15 minutes to try and find a park. I dropped my people off. They got out of the car. I thought, I'll just drive it around here. And then I got a park and I was pretty proud. Went inside, got some hot chips, came back out, gonzo. And I thought, that's not good. That's not good. And it was one of those ones, it was $65 if you pay now, and if you pay after a date, it's $85. I can assure you, Wilsons aren't getting my 65 or my 85. Zero. At this stage, until I get a court order, they're not getting anything. They get a court order. I'm with TJ. Until they come to the wherever I am in time,
get arrested for a parking ticket.
Well, yeah. He had $1,000 worth of parking tickets.
Still $1,000. They got bigger things to worry about than that.
Yeah, well, they're not getting any of mine.
Bluey's chimed in again. Diggers, Buckaroo was certainly a nonny. Yet to prove me wrong. Diggers, good results, stake money-wise for the owners.
Yeah, look, he was good. He was really good.
What do they go to the 2000 at Flemington with him? He has to carry 59 in the Cup. That'd be a big ask for him.
Yeah.
I heard Chris Swaller on the verdict yesterday morning. He said he's never seen a horse as exhausted as Buckaroo after the Melbourne Cup last year.
Really?
So then now this
cautionary tale.
Yeah, he would have to go there with more weight, so that'll be obviously tougher.
Gee, as you said, like Chris Waller, you'd love to see what the bank balance looks like whenever the money jumps in after a weekend or 9 or 10 days after with him.
Well, he wins that many races. He actually forgot to take the Cox Plate home on Saturday.
He what?
Charlie Duckworth had to sneak the Cox Plate out for him.
Really? Right, left it there?
Yeah.
Talk about first world problems. How good's that?
And then he went through the scanner, apparently, Charlie, and he forgot he tucked it in his pants sort of thing, like the trainer's trophy.
Oh, yes.
And then the buzzer went off when he went through the airport that night, Saturday night. Then you just pull the Cox Plate out, put that through the conveyor belt.
Wowee.
There you go.
Lindemann, Buckaroo, Via
Quinella and a Cox Plate.
Was a $6 million. Like, we could do the maths, but it's frightening what he's winning. It is frightening. So good on him. He's running a big string of horses and he's doing it better than anyone.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with all the form for Pinjarra, Matt Young and his best.
Maytag Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
This WA Harness Racing Preview is brought to you by Retrovision. TVs, computers, electrical appliances and homewares. Retrovision is your retailer of choice. Retrovision, 60 years strong in WA with 18 stores statewide. RAC members receive an additional 5% every day at Retrovision.
Matt Young, good morning to you.
Good morning, TC. Hello, Digby.
Hello, Matthew. How was the weekend?
Yeah, weekend was lovely.
Good to hear.
Very quiet.
Good to hear. 9 races on your home track down there at Pinjarra today. The first comes our way at 6 minutes after 1 o'clock over the 2,116 metres. And it is the Andrew Hastie supporting Aussie Industry Trotters.
Yeah, look, I'm with the newcomer here in Grumpy, who looks to, reads up well from the eastern states. Has to overcome the 40 metres over the short course stand, which is never an easy task, but I am expecting him to run pretty well. He's got form in the standing starts, and yeah, I'm expecting a pretty decent performance. So 10 on top for me. In for second, number 6 in Your King. This horse normally steps pretty well, who's got the speed to potentially bounce on the lead in the early stages. There are a couple of quick beginners sort of ahead of him, but he has been beginning very quickly, so respect him as a live chance. Number 5 in for third in Labradors, another one. He's pretty decent when it comes to the short course stands. Just needs a safe getaway. It can be a little bit hit and miss, but if he was able to get into the first couple, I think he can run into the money in 11 Saloon. He's just so consistent, very hard not to have Saloon into the top 4, 10, 6, 5, 11.
That's in race number 1. Race number 2, Matt, for the 2-year-olds over the 21.85. Knocking on the door is Insurgency, currently the favourite at $3.
Yeah, good race, this one. Sweat of the better beat Insurgency last time they met, but Insurgency, I think, can lead this race and lead for a long way. So, I've got the 3 on top. Think's got the gate speed to get around and bounce to the top. In for second, I'm throwing in number 7, Sweat of the better. Look, her last few runs have been first class, and she looks a workhorse that can probably push forward at some stage. It's going to have to be pretty good to be able to sit outside them and win, but I'm expecting her to go pretty close. So 3 from 7, 2 in for third, Hudson Street. Couldn't have asked for a better debut. They went really quick in that race, and the horse finished off really strongly, so benefited from that experience and expect a pretty solid run. Just a little bit of a query about the gate speed. Wasn't really bustled out early, so it'll be interesting to see if they try and hold a forward position and what speed is under the hood there. And number 9 in for fourth, and that is Miss Bejeweled, who's got good speed. Should be getting home well from the back of the field. 3-7-2-9.
Matt, race 3 is a 3-year-old maiden event over the 16.84 at 2.18, and the 7 here is an even money favourite with Tap Touch.
Yeah, I haven't even got this in my top 4, so go figure. Look, Kujam was sound, I guess you could say, last start, and may come forward from that, but really needs to step forward. I'm really shocked that it's that short. Look, I'm going with the 10 on top, Float My Boat. I think Float My Boat was a pretty decent run against decent horses last time out. That was after a freshen up, and if anything, should be benefited by that. He's a hard horse to catch, this one, so he's fought with danger, but I'm expecting him to run pretty well. So I'm with the 10 on top, Float My Boat. In for second, 5 Rock on Billy. I thought could bounce on the lead in the early stages. This horse has got good early speed. We saw that last week, and if able to find the pegs, I think we've got a pretty good race. One purely pandemic trialled up just okay, but has shown promise prior to that, and from the draw expecting a decent run. And 2-3 Flames has definitely done nothing wrong since returning. Has been consistent. It won't be too far away. 10-5-1-2.
That's race number 3. Race number 4, another wide open race, 380 the field. Submariner is currently the favourite for this lightning lap, Matt.
Yeah, going well, Submariner, and ready to win. Has got some good speed, could bounce on the lead here. Or if not, be in the breeze. I'm not really too concerned if he's in the breeze. He just seems to race well when he's on speed in this grade. So with the 4 on top, Submariner. In for second, the stablemate was really good last start in Speed Force. So I'm expecting Speed Force to run a really good race again. We sort of caught 3 deep the trip. Did have cover, but still finished the race off really well. So 9 Speed Force in for second, 2 in for third Australia. Disappointing last start. Sound run first up. Has had the benefit of 2 runs back from a break. Likes the distance, likes the draw. Should be very close and can get into the money. And in for fourth, number 10, Be a Lawyer, who's definitely mixing his form. but just needs a little bit of luck from the wide draw, but can get into the money here. 4-9-2-10.
Race 5, we get to see Beach Captain, who is the $2.30 favourite over the 16.84 at 3.23, Matt.
Yeah, I like one here at big odds. It's going around a silly price here, and that is the 8 Yankee Lincoln. I think She's a Lucky Penny's the leader over the mile. That's where she does her best racing. I think Yankee Lincoln's going to get that perfect run. He's fast twitch. He should be behind the leader. The mile suits. Sprint lane should beckon for him, and I just think at the big price, he's worth a play at an each-way price. So 8 on top, Yankee Lincoln, sort of 1x3, 1x4 type, but I think he can get into the money. He's definitely up to this grade. 7 Beach Captain was really strong in defeat last time out. He's going to have to go forward again and probably has to do the work, so then he becomes susceptible to a sit sprinter. 1 in for third, She's a Lucky Penny. I didn't mind the trial recently. It wasn't in overly quick time, but I'm expecting her to, I just like the way that she was moving in the trial. She was pretty strong and expecting a pretty decent run from She's a Lucky Penny. Back to the mile, and number 9, I'm Drinking Doubles. I think can drop down to the pegs and be a somewhat dangerous late. Sort of in the same bracket as Yankee Lincoln, just that one spot further back. 8-7-1-9.
Race number 6 on the program. Scratch number 4, the favourite at $1.90, Jolted Charm.
Yeah, hard to beat Jolted Charm. She's got good gate speed. We'll be looking to try and get to the top, and I think if she does find the lead, she's going to be hard to beat. So I've got the 2 on top, Jolted Charm, in for second, throwing in the 1 Rip of You, who raced Friday, didn't have a great deal of luck. She's probably not at her absolute best, and I think she'll get a really good run here, and from there I'm really hoping she can get into the top 3, but I think she could be somewhat dangerous. 8 in for third, Khaleesi, can peg up and be sort of dangerous late. I like this horse more out in the open, so 3 back the pegs might not be the ideal position for Khaleesi, but in the concluding stages expecting him to be getting home well. And 5, Jamie Kim. It's a very simple task. If Jamie Kim can fire out and cross Jolted Charm and Rip of You, then Jamie Kim can win. If not, he's more of a top 3, top 4 chance, but gets a little bit tricky from there, so expecting him to be coming out all guns blazing. 2-1-8-5.
Okay, race 7 comes our way at 4.26 over the 26.31. It is the Don Randall Memorial Conditioned Handicap Pace. Now, the scratchings here are 5 Feeling Aces and 10 Call Me What You Want, Matt.
Yeah, so this race, obviously the scratching of the 10 Call Me What You Want was one that I didn't mind. Look, I put the 8 on top, and that is Rock Artist, who, look, I think Rock Artist has come back really well. He's showing a good amount of depth and ability, and I'm expecting him to run a pretty good race. I think he's short enough in the market, but I think he'll go pretty close. So 8 on top, Rock Artist. In for second, I'm throwing in number 7 now, and that is Rock Me Over. Just needs a safe getaway. I feel they sort of fall into that same bracket, but can definitely get into the money. Rock Me Over, it was a good win last start. Distance will suit, just needs a safe getaway. 5 in for third, Beat the Bank. Goes around at the big price. He raced well on Friday night. He was sort of used in the early to middle stages and still fought the race out well. He can be hit and miss from the tape. So if he's hit, he can get into a good spot, and he's going around at a silly price. And in for 4 for throwing number 1, Bet on the River, who is definitely well equipped from the tapes. Better for the first up effort and hit the line pretty well, and I expect him to be a top 3, top 4 player from that position. 8, 7, 5 and 1.
Race number 8 on the program is the $1.45 about Nutbush Girl Right.
Nutbush Girl will be winning, in my opinion. She's pretty smart, and she should be able to charge forward, get to the top, and from there she should probably win. Her last 2 wins have been first class. 3 in for second, Always Be Frank. Looks likely to work forward. It was a better run last start, Always Be Frank. Previous 2 disappointed, but I think he can get to the top in the early stages, and from there probably looks for cover on the stablemate, and he can run a place. 9, Belling Up Boy. It's really good last start, but has had a bit of a freshen up in between runs, and put in for third and in for fourth and throwing in number 8, and that is Local Resident, who, when the field starts to open up in this last lap, I think that could really suit Local Resident. It was a good win last start. It was a nice run 2 starts ago. He's only had the 1 poor run for Corey Peterson, who was a beaten favourite at Gloucester Park. but I think he can get home reasonably well in this race. 7, 3, 9 and 8.
Okay, and we rounded out with the Andrew Hastie supporting Peel Thunder 4-year-old plus pace over the 21.85 at 24 minutes to 6 o'clock. 4, Getting Wiggy With It is a scratching. 6, He's Never Been Better is the $2.10 tab touch favourite.
Yeah, no doubt heads forward as well. Comes in first up. Gary Hall Senior trains. You know the horse will be fit and ready to go. There is a little bit of speed underneath, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the early stages. But, yeah, look, I'm with the 10 Armour Believer on top on an each-way basis. I think Armour Believer's come back reasonably well. It's got good high speed, and the nice long straight at Pinjarra I think is going to play a significant role in this race. 6 in per second, He's Never Been Better. Has to be respected first up, but comes up short enough from the draw. Mickey Windermere is racing really well and elevating nicely. This will be a really good test, but he looks like he's capable, time-wise, to be able to handle the rise. And in for 4th and 3 in 1 hour, Lily Lou, who's got the pick of the bunch, really. She's got the gate speed to lead, and then from there, she can sit on whoever she wants and will definitely be benefited from that first-up effort and becomes a significant place chance, 10, 6, 7, 1.
All right, who's the best?
We're going race 6, number 2, Jolted Charm is the best.
Race 6, number 2, Jolted Charm. Thank you very much. Do we have a guest for Off and Pacing?
We do. We have one confirmed. Chris Folk will be joining me at 20 past 9 along with Ollie County.
Beautiful. Recap of all the weekend's action. Thank you very much, Matt. Speak soon.
Thank you.
There's Matt Young. Diggers, you have a good day. We'll be back from 5:30 tomorrow morning.
Thank you. You have a wonderful Monday as well.
All right. Join us from 5:30 tomorrow morning here on the Sports Daily.